All right, welcome race fans once again to Virtual Racing Network. We have another exciting race for you here and the final race of this season. And we have some special guests in the booth here. We'll be talking to them here in just a minute. So we are going to get some stuff ready. But here we are at Homestead Miami Speedway again for the final race of the Xfinity season. But we do have another race coming up later on. But we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But we want to introduce our special guests. So give us just a minute and we will introduce them. We will be right back. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, once again here on Virtual Racing Network. Again, we have some special guests here in the, well, we're kind of in their booth, technically, but whatever, we'll be getting over there. That's neither here nor there. We do have, of course, Mike, Bill, and Tony. First off, Mike, we'll hand it over to you here to let you introduce yourself and, of course, your team and what it is you do here at Newegg.
Thanks, Charles. We're here ready to win that gold, that first place. We want to go ahead and hit those tracks hard. We want to hit that top speed. I'm kidding, guys. I'm Mike. We are from Newegg Plays. Join with me again is Bill and Tony. We stream every Wednesday and Friday at 2:30 Pacific time on Newegg, a retail company. If you haven't heard it before, really, we just sort of hang out. We play games that we want. We play games that we enjoy. We try to make interesting games and sort of niche games fun as much as we can. Bill can attest to that one.
Boogity, boogity, boogity.
Is that your new catchphrase?
Well, it's not mine. No, I ripped that straight off from Mr. Darrell Waltrip.
Oh, wow. I didn't know we were doing catchphrases today. Otherwise, I would have prepared something.
You always have to prepare a catchphrase, man.
Yeah, Charles, thanks for having us here, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Charles. I appreciate you having us.
Definitely. Again, we want to talk a little bit. Obviously, I just got in there, and, you know, obviously you don't want to come in there just for stuff, but there are some little good stuff handed out every once in a while when you come in there. So definitely pay attention for that. But come in and hang out all the time. Speaking of giving stuff out, I know you were talking about possibly getting into a racing game. We have acquired 4 3-month codes to iRacing. So when you're ready for those, you can actually get 3 months free on iRacing. So we can get all 4 of you in here, put up a little private race, or we can open it to the public and let you have havoc on iRacing. So that is obviously for the Newegg Plays people. So we want to hand that out from VRN here, and I think it'll be fun to watch y'all go out there and get on the track and race.
I'm ready to show Bill that rubbing is racing. All right.
Oh, I want some road course. Charles, we get some road course action in there?
We can. There are a lot of free road course tracks out there. Again, what do you? We have about, y'all usually go from 4:30 my time, 2:30 Pacific to 4:30, something like that.
So 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. So you got an hour and a half. It takes roughly about 30 minutes. We can do some little 30-lap races. Maybe less on the road course, but yeah, we'll definitely be putting something up there. I think it'll be fun. Again, there's a lot of free cars, free tracks. We might have to do some little radical cars. I don't know if anyone's ever seen a radical, but they're very interesting cars.
It sounds pretty rad, so let's give it a shot.
Radicals are cool.
If it's called radical, it has to be.
It is indeed, and now it's free on iRacing, so definitely something.
Which radical do they have?
Not even sure which one it is. It looks like a little go-kart, to be honest, so we'd have to look that up to find out, but I know it's fast and fun, so
yeah, I know this is, if we're going to play iRacing, we're going to make it a spectacle. We did the same thing with X-Plane, and we'd probably do the same for this game too.
Yeah, it definitely is fun. Again, I've already acquired some extra funds to host the lobbies with, so I can make them private or public. We can go in there and have some fun as they're wrecking here in the race, doing the little pit party there. But yeah, we can do some private racing here. Let you four go at it, as I cannot speak today. Or we can open it up to the general public. Anyone out there that does get on iRacing, any of the viewers for Newegg, also they can get in there. We can give them the password here in Discord. So I think it'll be a blast.
Yeah, we might have to do a little Laguna Seca action. I think.
Ooh, I do like Laguna Seca.
Yeah, we might have to do Laguna Seca. Or Laguna Seca, Lime Rock. Those would be my two.
Yeah, we can definitely do those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be a fun time if we could have viewers join in and get a little road time with us.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is, obviously, a wheel and pedals obviously is the preferred for most people. But you could actually do it with the mouse. I don't know if I'd recommend a road course for the mouse, but you can use an Xbox controller as well. So it is open to anybody out there that has a gaming system and a controller. So it's something cool. But we figured you give away stuff every once in a while on Newegg Plays, so why not we return the favor and give away some iRacing here for you.
iRacing's got its own
love it, Charles.
own iRacing love.
Yeah,
That's cool, Charles.
But yeah, a little bit about. We got about 4 minutes, so I know Bill, you stream, Tony, you stream, and Mike, we've seen you stream as well. So for the closing minutes here, we'll start with Bill, and we'll just go down the list. If you want to give off your stream channel and what you kind of stream, so these people can go out there and watch you personally as well as Newegg Plays.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my Twitch handle is Bill4LE. And I stream X-Plane, which is a flight simulator, and I usually stream with a service called Pilot Edge, which adds live air traffic control to the flight sim. And I'm using that while I'm learning how to fly in real life. So I'm taking flying lessons in real life and then streaming essentially the same plane out of the same airport, practicing for the real-world flights, doing the real-world flight, coming back and debriefing it, with some other kind of fun things in between there. So I try to keep it as lifelike as possible, as I know, a lot of these, iRacing races, they manage everything from alignments to tire pressures to fuel levels and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys appreciate, a real-to-life sim environment and have any interest in aviation, it might be fun for you to check out.
Definitely. Mike?
Oh, yeah. You can catch me on twitch.tv/MikeOGame. For my style of gaming that I play, I usually stream like story-based games. I've been doing a lot of Fallout and sort of whatever hits my fancy. I try to keep it sort of relaxed. I also do Photoshop streams. Those are kind of rare in between, but I do like to focus on them whenever I have like an itch to create something. Other than the Newegg stream, that's sort of what I focus on.
And for anyone that is, Mike O Game is his username on Twitch. And Bill, you want to say something? Oh, thought I saw his mic key up.
Oh, no, yeah, no. Oh. No, I think Tony's next. Right?
Yeah, Bill's just a mouth breather. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Well, Tony, we know you stream quite a bit, so let's hear it.
Yeah, you can always find me on Twitch, Tone Face Killa, like Go Face Killa with Tone. That's also my Twitter. You want to reach out to me. I tend to stream kind of anything, general gaming, a lot of Overwatch lately, a lot of Monster Hunter lately, and I think I'm going to be streaming a lot of Rainbow Six here pretty soon. Also, I like to stream like model builds, mostly Gundams and other kind of random models I find. So, kind of general nerdy stuff, and I'm always open to suggestions if anyone wants to reach out on Twitter or our Discord and say hello. All right, thanks.
Definitely, and we will be periodically, our bot does post the Discord for Newegg Plays, so if you're a techie person or you just want to play games with people, definitely jump in there. Again, you can post pictures of your computer in there, your build, all that kind of stuff. It's a cool place to hang out. And before we get ready for the actual race here in about a minute and a half or so, besides those 4 codes that we have reserved for Newegg Plays here, we do have 4 other codes to give away. So in Discord, if you are in the chat here tonight for the race, join the Discord link, hop over there. You can PM me, whatever you need to do. Just look up Mr. C, of course, on there. And we have 4 more of those. It'll be first come, first serve. So we will hand those out in the order PMs do come in. So again, we have 4 more 3-month codes to give away for iRacing. So definitely hit us up. And that being said, we are actually out of time. So, Mike, any final thoughts here to remind people before I head over to the actual race and y'all go eat dinner probably.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, if you guys want to hang out with some really cool people, our entire community is absolutely amazing. They make everything that we do for Newegg pretty much worth it. So if you want to, like Charles said, the bot is going. I actually did just see it right now. Join the Discord. We like to hang out with you guys, and then near the end of every month, we do Tekken Around, where we get to talk about your builds, talk about your questions, and even some small surprises.
Definitely. So stay tuned for that. The 29th, I believe it's coming up. 28th, 29th. I believe it is the 29th, though. I'm trying to get my build done by then. Stay tuned for that. But we will be right back here in about 30 seconds with the rest of your pre-race show here. So we'll go over all the events for tonight's race, how many laps we're doing, fuel mileage, all of that. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are not done with the pre-show here. It's time to get to the racing side of things, and we'll get to the points here in a second. In the pre-analyst here, we've got to introduce our second chair, and there's a reason he's the second chair. One, he's the champ. He's a lot of stuff. Mainly the champ here, as he did win. And the professional. He's the professional champ. We'll go with that. That is Jeff Stabnow. And again, welcome back to the booth. And the reason he's here is because he is the man of knowledge when it comes to racing. So, Jeff, welcome to the booth.
Hey, Charles. Glad to be here, but just going to let you know all the schmoozing in the world's not going to make up for not inviting me over to hang out with the cool people.
Well, that was a complete lapse on my behalf. I forgot you had Discord. So apparently it doesn't, all the schmoozing doesn't make me look any smarter either. So, but when it comes to racing information, you are definitely our go-to guy here. Kind of like the beard of knowledge, but I don't think you have a beard, so we'll just go with that. But regardless here, jumping right into things, we want to go to our sponsors real quick to let everyone know, of course, tonight's race is presented by Global Building Contractors. So definitely go check them out on their website. Give them a big shout out for what they do. Find out what they do. Obviously, the name says it's building contractors, so make sure you check them out. You'd be surprised what exactly they do here. iRacing Drivers World. If you are an iRacer, make sure you go over there, check them out, get in that group, join it, post all your pictures, videos, comments, questions, whatever you have about iRacing, you can look them up there. And another general sponsor here and the presenting sponsor for the Tuesday series, that is Leo's Coney Island out of Rochester Hills. Make sure if you're in the area, go hit them up, get some great food, and definitely thank them for what they do. On the broadcast side of things, we have a few partners as well, starting with Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm. If you have a beard, well, you need to take care of it. What better way to do so than with some all-natural and organic beard balm from Walls Beard Co. You can pick those products up at wallsbeardco.com. If you're an iRacer, you need a custom-made button box and an e-brake if you're a rallycross racer. So definitely make sure you hit up simspeedshop.com for one or both of those items today. Again, they are a must for all iRacers. Northwest Racing Series. Well, they are back in business tomorrow night. And, of course, Wednesday night as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We got some Xfinity and Trek racing coming back here to Virtual Racing Network. And obviously we're racing Xfinity here tonight. So definitely make sure you stay tuned for that. Ohio IndyCar League. If you're looking to get a little Ohio or IndyCar racing in your life, Ohio IndyCar League is the place to be. So make sure you head over to Facebook to get all the latest details at facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League. iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics, your sim race broadcast graphics source. If you are looking to become a broadcaster or just need some overlays for iRacing, head on over to ibog.co and get a hold of Jason Allison today. For your pre-race interview coming up here shortly, we will pick a driver. We are going to be talking to someone that is presented by Randy's Wraps. So if you're looking for a really nice paint job at a really good price, head on over to Randy's Wraps. Just type in Randy's Wraps in Facebook, and you will be directed to that page. Get you a very nice looking paint job. That being said here, we'll go through the pre-race annals here for VRN, and we're also going to do that actually in a minute. Let's talk to a driver. Do we have any particular driver here, Jeff, we want to pull up? I know we got Jameer here, and he is our points leader right now.
We could pull up Jameer. Let me see if he's available here.
He goes and checks him real fast. Again, he is our points leader coming into tonight's race. And he, believe, has it locked up for the points. We're going to be going over those here in a minute. We do have about 15 minutes or so, and it looks like his mic is clear. So Jameer is here with us. So Jameer, welcome to the booth. You know, this Jameer and Jeff show, you know, it might be coming to an end here for the Xfinity. It will be coming to an end here for at least the Xfinity for this year. Because, well, tonight is the championship night, and it looks like you may be crowned the champion. Uh-oh. Well, I think we have him.
I think we left him speechless, Charles.
I think we did.
Sorry, guys.
Big honor here. Here he is.
There we go. So coming into tonight, you are the points leader, and it looks like from what we've heard from Justin and we've kind of figured out on our own as well, based on points, you should lock in the championship just by showing up here tonight. So unless something crazy happens here, how does it feel to be the champion leaving tonight's race?
Oh, you know, it feels really good. It feels awesome. This league is a tough one. It's really tough to win races. The competition here is really deep, and they're very clean drivers out here. And yeah, it's just it's an amazing accomplishment. First time in this in a full season with this league, and you know, I've got 2 wins to my name this season out of 22 races, I believe, and so I'm hoping to get a 3rd one tonight. And yeah, it's just it's an amazing feeling. It was a lot of hard work.
It definitely is. And I say the Jeff and Jameer show, for y'all talking to each other so often, may come to an end for Xfinity. Again, we'll see how things go. Hopefully, new job doesn't interfere too much and we're able to continue. But that doesn't mean we still have the Tuesday Truck Series as well as the new little throwback series coming in. So that aside, that is coming up later. For today, coming into Homestead, Miami, what are your thoughts on this track? And just, do you think you have a good shot at winning? I know you're really fast, second fastest. So what are your thoughts on this track?
Yeah, it's this track is it doesn't have a lot of grip. It's very low grip track. The tires are wearing out really quickly. It's really going to be a tire-conserving race. You really can't abuse them at all, especially at the beginning of the run, because you're going to really fall behind real quick. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really tough. It's going to be really tempting to, you know, go really hard at the start and go in deep and, you know, be aggressive, but you're just going to really hurt yourself in the long runs. It'll be really interesting.
We'll definitely be watching for all of that out there. Before we let you go, as there is a driver's meeting going on, Jeff, any questions here for Jameer before we hand it back over to the race?
Hey, first of all, welcome to the Jeff and Jameer pre-race show tonight, there, Jameer, and congratulations on having that championship wrapped up. I know this is a tough track. I know there's a lot of different lines around this track. You got any special strategies planned for tonight that you can share? Now, keep in mind, I'm sure there's a few guys listening right now, so of course, you've pretty much got this thing wrapped up. So, with what can you tell us? What's your strategy here tonight?
Yeah, I really don't know yet. I don't really know what is going to be the fast line once the tires wear down. It's kind of going to be, especially the first round, I'm going to kind of figure that out as we go. It is dynamic conditions, so it could change. I'm not really sure what will kind of transpire with the racing line and the strategy with that. But I'm gonna definitely try and conserve my tires and take it easy at the start of the run, so I have a little bit of something at the end of the runs.
All right. Well, all I can say is good luck to you. Congratulations, and I'm sure you've got some sponsors or some people at home that are watching you want to give shout-outs to here tonight.
Yeah, I'd just like to give a shout-out to Global Building Contractors, Leo's Coney's Island, iRacing Drivers World, for everything that they do. And, hopefully it's a really good, entertaining race for you guys to watch.
All right. We'll let you get back to your race prep, and we'll get ready to watch an exciting race. Thanks, Jameer, and back to you, Charles.
All right, we'll get him back down there to the track pits. And while we're talking about him being the champion, it seems like the perfect time here. Go ahead and pull up your point standings. Of course, those are presented by Global Building Contractors. Right now, while it does say Alex Huffman is 52 points out, Mikey Neal 60 points out, that does not include all of their drops. So while we do know Jameer pretty much has the points championship wrapped up, I believe you were saying once the drops are in, it's going to be roughly about a 5-point difference between Alex Huffman and Mikey Neal. So the battle for second is not over.
Yeah, and I might add that some napkin math, but I was just going through a look at the drops, seeing what's going to drop on the top three, and I think mathematically it's impossible for anybody to catch Jameer. But Alex Huffman and Mikey Neal, assuming they both have decent finishes tonight, bad finishes would change things, but if they have decent finishes tonight, I believe Alex Huffman has about a 5-point lead on Mikey Neal. So Mikey Neal, in order to take second place, would probably need to beat Mikey or Alex Huffman there by about 5 or 6 places. And Alex Huffman's running so darn good, unless he just has an accident or something tonight. I'm not sure there's going to be 5 or 6 places to give up. Bryson Barker, I look for him to be the big mover. He's got a 0 score that's going to drop off. I don't think it'll be enough to catch Mikey Neal or Alex Huffman, but it should solidly put him in 4th place tonight.
And there are going to be several battles we're going to be watching here. Back to about 14th, 15th, you have Cody Levitt, Dennis Ellis, 3 points separating them again before that drop. So there are several positions that are up for grabs throughout this field. But aside from all of that, I expect to see some really good racing here. So we'll leave those up for a minute while we talk. But this track is definitely an interesting one, to say the least. All the way from the shape of this track to the fact that the walls are this teal blue. So you don't see anything like this track anywhere else.
No, you don't. That's why it's kind of the perfect track to end the season on. It's a mile and a half. It's an oval. It's certainly not a cookie cutter by any means. We call anything where we only turn left in oval. This is probably the only true mile and a half oval or bigger that we have. Everything else has got a D shape to it, or it's a quad oval, or there's some irregular shape to it. This is just an oval. It's got progressive banking, so kind of like Bristol and a few of these other tracks, Michigan, that sometimes we can carry a little more speed on the high line. Usually initially when we get grip, we're better on the low line. As the tires start to wear, which happens really fast here, this is tough on tires, that low line is going to get slicker and slicker and start wreaking havoc with the guys. Coming off both sets of corners, there's what I refer to as a grip strip. if you can, if you have the fortitude and can just kind of hang it out there and you're not afraid to sail it right up against that wall, there's like a strip of grip there and it'll stick. But man, I'll tell you, you just keep wondering if it's gonna, particularly coming off of 4, if you're gonna carry any speed down a straightaway, you about have to do that. But coming off 2, you can just sail it right out there, and I mean just inches away from that wall, and it seems like there's just extra grip there. So always exciting, and confident guys are rewarded here. If they can make that play. There's things that you can do between different bankings here to kind of the way you can drive your car tight or loose. I mean, I was down there while you was hanging out with the cool kids. I was hanging out with the really cool kids, and we were all talking about the cars and how they were driving. And there's drivers down there that are throwing their hands up in the air, claiming the car won't turn it so tight. There's other drivers talking about the car won't quit turning. It's loose. The rear end wants to come around. These guys are driving the same car. It's a fixed set. So this track is interesting enough, different banking, all the seams that are on it, the different grip throughout across the track that 2 different guys driving the exact same car have just 2 completely different experiences with the car, handles completely different, and that's what makes this track really a driver's track. If you can go out there and figure out the nuances and the quirks and figure out how to drive it, you can go out there and have a heck of a race on this, and if you don't, man, it can be a tough track. It can get the best of you. So always a fun time here at Homestead.
It definitely is. And speaking of all of that, we'll go ahead and pull up the VRN race analyst here. As right now there is a 6 mile per hour wind, now 7 out of the east. That is very rare that we see it coming out of the east. We see north, south, a little bit sometimes south, but coming out of the east is very different. You don't typically see that. 120 laps here, 180 miles, and we did there, I believe pit road's 50, and maybe 55, could be even 45, I'm not 100% sure on that, but 107 degree track. That's actually pretty cool compared to one we saw the other night that was upward 127, so 20 degrees cooler than the last broadcast we did.
It is, but this is, this track is just such a rough track. There's just so little grip. And, we talked about guys complaining about too loose, too tight. All of those, there's one commonality there, and one end of that car doesn't have enough grip, depending on how they drive it. So, even without 127 degree track temperatures, even here at 107, these cars don't have enough grip for these guys. They want a lot more grip. It's depending on how they drive it, one end of that car is sticking better than the other.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be a challenge and a handful for these drivers coming into tonight. It's, again, a very interesting track here. These guys have to get around it just perfect. You can ride the wall, but it could be a little tricky if you do. That being said, we have about 3.5 minutes, about close to 3 minutes before we get started. We do want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. I know we have a lot of new faces out there from New Egg Plays, as well as just some new people. So thanks for tuning in here tonight. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you like the racing tonight, as well as hitting that subscribe button and the little bell to be notified of all upcoming events that we have on here. We have quite a few coming up every week, especially with a couple of leagues just restarting again here. That being said, we have about a minute before we go to the national anthem, so we'll go ahead and make our picks here for the win. And Jeff, we will go ahead and let you do first honors of picking your choice for the win tonight to win.
Oh man, that is a tough one here. We've got Reese Milton up there at the top of the board tonight, laying down the only 32-1 on the board, which is a little bit of a surprise. Not someone who's up there. Jameer Muhammad has been running good. We got that great battle between Alex and Mikey, so I'm not going to pick either one of those two guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the 4, Jeremy Evans. He's been solid week in and week out, and he was a little latecomer to the series here, so he doesn't have a lot of pressure on him, not fighting for a big place or anything, so I'll take the 4.
Well, I let you go first, and you still managed to pick my pick for tonight's win. So, that being said, I think I'm just going to go with the 76 of Reese Milton out there. So we got Reese Milton for me, Jeremy Evans for you. That being said, it's time for the national anthem, so we'll be right back with qualifying right after this.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Alright, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We got James Morgan out on the track, so we'll switch over to him as he's coming out on to the track. We'll pull up your driver bar for all your information so you can see who is where as we are getting ready. Everyone again coming out onto the track. Put that down just a hair there, sorry about that, as we don't want it bleeding through on the mic, but nobody has put in a time just yet, of course. They have a little bit of time to do so, but we'll be waiting to see. As you see sparks flying, these are lone car qualifying. There's only one car out at a time. However, you can sometimes see the products there, so somebody getting into the outside wall. But that is not who we're watching. We're watching the 12 of James Morgan as he is going to complete his first lap. This time by, we also have Mikey Neal out there, Damian Leininger, Alex Huffman, Jeff Pogo, Austin Edstrom, Jameer Muhammad, Jeremy Evans, Charles Hoffman getting ready, Reese Milton out. We have a ton of drivers out on the track right now, and times are starting to come in. So we'll go ahead and put your qualifying times up on the screen, as it's going to be James Morgan the second with a 32.328. Alex Huffman, one of those in the battle for second place with a 32.105 to put himself at the top of the charts.
Yeah, what a great lap by Alex Huffman there. 32.105, fastest lap we saw all night. I know he was trying hard to find a line that would lay a fast lap down in practice, but he didn't come within a tenth of that. So great lap by Alex Huffman, and right now he's got the field by a tenth and a half.
Yeah, and your pick, Jeremy Evans in the 4, second fastest right now with a 32.262.157 off of the lead. He's going to pull it to a stop. So we'll switch over to Damian Leininger that is out on the track right now. And looks like he's got a retro there. I believe this is a throwback race. So these guys are running old paint schemes. I do believe that is it. As he's got a retro Budweiser car on there.
Yeah, and while you were talking there, Mikey Neal, who's in that tight battle with Alex Huffman, he's been struggling a little bit tonight in practice, but he just went out and laid down a 32.135. So the two teammates, 3/100ths of a second apart there. Looking at 1 and 2 as it currently stands, and just kind of out there in front of the rest of the pack by about a tenth of a second right now.
Yeah, and Charles Hoffman in the 63 Tracks machine right behind them with a 32 247.143 out of the lead. Dan Butler in that number 21 machine, he's going to take it all the way to 6th place right now with a 32.333. So very good time for him as well. Jeff Pogo currently back in 11th on track. Austin Edstrom only in 7th. Interesting. He's the little ways back. He has not get to race as much lately due to work, so hopefully he can get back to the front.
Yeah, Austin Edstrom, unfortunately, work kind of interfered with this season here at the end, and not that we're complaining about work, fully understand work first, but Austin Edstrom and Jameer Muhammad had a real tight battle going, so they were kind of going at it most of the year, but Austin Edstrom having to miss some races here lately, I suspect not being able to get as much practice in, and not able to qualify up there with his teammates. Was a little bit of a surprise there, and not sure what's going on with Jameer Muhammad. I'm not showing him as having qualified yet.
Yeah, he's sitting at the end of pit road, but has not come out onto the track yet. Meanwhile, we will go over a little bit of facts tonight. After tonight's race, of course, the top 3 drivers will be walking away with trophies, and the top 25 in points will be locked into the All-Star race coming up next week. And to note here, so everyone knows why, Dennis Ellis, the number 11, the 84 of Bryson Barker, and the 87 of John Van Verellis, those 3 drivers will not be qualifying. They are receiving EOLs from last week's race, so they will have to start at the back of tonight's race.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, did we say Bryson Barker was in? Yeah, he is in there. Okay, I was wondering why Bryson wasn't qualifying there. He's usually one to qualify and run up front there. A little bit surprised that Jameer Muhammad's opting to start in the back tonight, but with 1 second left in qualifying, that's all but a done deal.
Yeah,
and, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be starting in the back. And speaking of that, it is time to get to the grid here. So, we got about 26 or so drivers here. We'll hand it over to you, Jeff, if you want to go through our first 8 rows of drivers, and then I will bring us home.
Yeah, absolutely. So, sneaking up there while we were talking about everything else, the 76 of Reese Milton throws down a blazing fast time of 32.047 to take the pole. Almost a tenth of a second, well, half a tenth of a second ahead of the 83 of Alex Huffman. Will be starting outside row 1. In row 2, on the inside, the number 8 of Mikey Justified Neal, starting in P3. Outside of row 2, we got the 63 of Charles Hoffman. In row 3, my pick, the 4-car of Jeremy Evans on the inside, and on the outside, we got the 12 of James Morgan. In row 4, we've got Dan Butler in the 21, starting on the inside tonight, and outside of him, we've got the 88 of Austin Edstrom. In row 5, we got the 3-car of Damian Leiniger, starting on the inside in P9. Outside of him, we got the 1-car of Chris Brown. In row 6, we got the 9 of Brian Dorsey, starting on the inside. Row 6, outside of him in P12, we got the 22 of Jeff Pogo. I forgot how many you wanted me to go through, Charles.
In row 7, as they're getting ready here, row 7 is going to be the 27 of Jonathan Ellis. Is outside of him in row 7 is going to be the 99 of Justin Starr. Row 8 is going to be the 77 of Justin Spear, and the 84 of Bryson Barker being the first one that did not take time, thanks to the EOL for him. Row 9 is going to be the 14 of Jameer Muhammad, or pretty much locked in points champions. I assume that's why he's starting at the back, just to have a little fun, try to work his way through the field. We'll see, unless something happened. On his outside is going to be Brian Jones in the 45. Row 10 is going to be the 28 of Brian Bizzle and the 87 of John Van Verellis. Row 11 is going to be the 11 of Dennis Ellis, and I'm not sure what number he is, but that is Ray Moss, the 42 of Ray Moss. Row 12 is going to be the 6 of Matthew Ellis and the 70 of Sam Crow. Row 13 is going to be the 78 of Scotty Zirk and the 96 of Craig Covington. And, well, there is no row 14, so 13 rows here, 26 drivers. This should be a fantastic race. Again, we're not done with Racecore Racing. However, this particular series is coming to an end here for this year. And it should be a very good race to determine who's in those top 3.
Oh, yeah, you know it's going to be a great race. And, you know, we got the surprise guy, Reese Milton, there leading him to the green flag right now, too. So I'm excited to see if he's got more than hot lap speed tonight.
Yeah, I would like to point out when we were going through the grid there, you pointed out your guy. You didn't point out the fact that my guy took the pole. So
did I miss that?
You slightly missed that, as we've already got, I believe that was the 83 of Alex Huffman scrapes the outside wall on lap 1, and he will lose from second place. I believe where he started. Started second. He's in 14th now after that wall scrape. So one little bitty scrape there, and he goes back 12 positions.
Yeah, so easy to scrape the wall. We talked about that a little in the pre-race. You kind of hang it out there coming off the corner because you got that grip strip right up there against the wall. But if you miss that just a little bit, you are feeling pain off the wall. And then when you get into 3 and 4, which is where they're headed now, it gets even tougher because you can't see it, but the wall's got a little bit of a kink coming off the exit. So it's not perfectly round. All of a sudden, it just kind of straightens out on you there and really kind of sneaks up on you a little bit. So that won't be the last wall scrape we see tonight.
No, it definitely won't be. You see people are getting a little bit off that wall. They may have seen that and said, well, I think we'll back off a little bit here. They're not Kyle Larson here, as he loves to ride the wall. But look here in this group. They're still 2 and 3 wide sometimes, led by Justin Spear. Justin Starr just ahead of them. Jameer Mohammed up to 14th now, as we'll pull up his driver information. Started 17th. So he's gained already a few spots, but he really has nothing to lose here. So starting in the back is not going to hurt him.
Yeah, and I'm loving this battle up there. I'm looking at about Brian Dorsey, Jeff Bogo, Justin Starr, that same crew that you were just talking about. They're running 3 different lanes up there. We've got guys all the way down there in that bottom lane, which has quite a bit less banking. Going to be hard to run here in a couple laps. And we've got guys all the way up to the 3rd lane, and they're hanging there. That's one of the neat things about this track is multiple grooves here tonight. So we've just come off 2 races where single group, hard to pass. Now look at this. We got like 3 grooves that these guys are able to get around the track in right now.
Yeah, it is definitely a great race here. Glad everyone's tuning in. Justin Starr scraped the wall just a second ago. He didn't get it quite as hard. He just barely nicked it, and he keeps going here. But here comes Brian Dorsey trying to battle him. It looks like he will take it. It looks like they can run multiple lines, but maybe the outside is preferred. Well, at least it was there for a second. Now Justin Starr is going to take that spot back. He's going to slide up, and the Camaro will take over that spot over that Mustang.
Yeah, the preferred line would be to probably cut down about the 2nd line, maybe even just dip some tires in that low line barely, but then push all the way out to the wall coming off the corner. So if you're running too wide, that inside line's a little bit shorter. The 2nd line has enough banking to carry you, but you can't get back to the throttle as soon as you'd like if you've got somebody to the outside of you and can't push out to that wall. That's why we talked about that grip strip there, because you really want to get back to that throttle and carry as much speed down the straightaway as you can, and can't do that running too wide there from the inside. So and I see a green and looked like orange car there got in the wall pretty good and lost quite a bit of speed there.
Yeah, and we jump to the front here. We're talking Mikey Neal is on the heels here. He started 3rd. He's up to 2nd, and he is hot on the heels of Reese Milton here. My pick for tonight's win. He is right there with him. Charles Hoffman has fallen off just a little bit from these. Austin Edstrom has definitely gained quite a bit. Started 8th. He's up to 4th. And we got him really starting to battle behind these guys.
Yeah, Mikey Neal is all over the rear bumper of the 76 of Reese Milton. And he's wanting to lead this race here. He's trying to work the inside right now. I think Reese Milton's probably carrying a little bit of speed down the straightaway to keep clear of him. But Mikey Neal going to probably play with his corner entrance here a little bit and see if he can't complete that pass.
Yeah, he definitely is going to try to complete it. Again, you go back behind these guys, and there's another little battle between Austin Edstrom and Charles Hoffman, but it looks like the 88 of Austin Edstrom is going to take that spot away. It's someone we haven't talked about yet, who is up there quite often in the front ever since he came to this series. That is the one of Chris Brown. He is sitting in 7th place right now, and he, you know, I don't think he has a win yet, but he is consistently fast.
Oh, yeah, Chris Brown's one of those guys, you know, we talk about the big four all the time. I don't think we're taking anything away from anybody. Mikey Neal, Bryson Barker, Tamir Mohammed, and Austin Edstrom been just dominating these Racecore Oval Series this year, so we kind of refer to them as the big four. But there's probably another group of 4 to 6 drivers that really aren't too far behind them and seem to be kind of closing that gap every week. And I would definitely put the one car of Chris Brown in there, and probably the 4 of Jeremy Evans, Alex Huffman. There's plenty of guys, but all those guys who are running up front here tonight, more than capable of getting up there and taking a victory here tonight, as Mikey Neal finally completes that pass on Reese Milton. And looks like he actually got a little bit loose coming off that corner and allowed Reese Milton to get back around him. Wow, nice save by Mikey Neal there. Rear end got around on him a little bit.
Yeah, he did, so that's very unfortunate. He had it and lost it, and he does not let a lap. Reese Milton has led all 10 laps so far. We were actually back here watching this group quite a ways back for around 10th, 11th, and 12th. They've sorted it out now, but this was all the way from Dan Butler, Damian Leininger, Jameer Muhammad, Justin Starr, Alex Huffman, who has come back a little bit here, Brian Dorsey. Those guys were 2 and 3 wide there for a minute. They were really starting to do it, and they're going to go 3 wide sort of again back here. So a lot of racing action going on midfield.
Yeah, I can't take my eyes off this battle for the lead. Mikey Neal has been 2 wide with Reese Milton in probably about the last 20 corners. But because he can't get to the throttle and pushed all the way out to the wall, Reese Milton always getting it back on the straightaway. But this battle has allowed the 88 of Austin Edstrom to get in the mix, so he's able to run these guys down. They had a sizable lead, and now we're about to see 3 cars tangle here for the lead in a second, so it's getting really interesting up front.
It is definitely getting very interesting, as I'm not sure we're going to have a whole lot of drafting here, but being pushed, and it ain't going to matter. Caution. And it's going to be the 27 of Jonathan Ellis. So let's go back and let's take a quick look on the replay camera.
Ooh, it looked like he might have had a little bit of help there. I didn't see the whole thing. Is that the 22 car that... hard to say. Jonathan Ellis might have actually started to get just a little bit loose and turned down at run the 22. Hard to say, but the 2 of them got into it, and I thought the 27 got a little bit loose right before contact happened, but it was such a bang-bang play. I can't tell you for sure, but I do love that throwback paint job on the 27.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go back here. Let's see if we can't look from the blimp view here and see. And I thought they were running throwback. I don't know if every one of them is or not, but some of these guys out here, some old throwback paint schemes. And we'll see here from a blimp view what might have happened. It looked like the 22 before that had to check up quite a bit too. Maybe he had a run and just couldn't complete it. Yeah, he may have been getting a little loose. I think you're right. He may have had a little bit of a sideways turn there before they actually made contact. But that is going to bring out the caution. And as we kind of expected here, everybody's coming down pit road here with 13 laps completed.
Yeah, we know that this place is rough on tires. I don't know if we talked about our fuel window here. We've heard of guys able to get 35 laps out of this in practice. We had other guys questioning that, thinking maybe 32 was going to be pushing it. You know, I don't think, you know, we got a half tank fuel left here. I don't think anybody's going to stay out here, though, with the tire situation. Prior to this caution, I think most guys were looking at 30-lap stints, probably 3 pit stops. And the interesting thing is this 15 laps now, if they can get 35, this 15 laps would put them right there at the edge. So maybe, assuming we, you know, if we were to go green the rest of the way, we may have a pretty serious fuel strategy race coming up here now.
Yeah, and while we were talking about the fuel strategy, the 76 of Reese Milton making a little mistake on pit road. He missed his pit stall just by a little bit. He had to back up just ever so slightly. He still had about a 14.6 stop, but that was his actual stop. He was on pit road itself 43 seconds compared to about 35 to 37 for the people around him. So that little bit of mistake there cost him 6 positions. He went from second to 7th.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because Reese Milton real fast and not normally somebody we talk about being up front. So, you know, as far as this crew having an excellent race, but he just couldn't get it in that pit stall right. You know, we watched him pull in. He had to pull it forward. He had to back it up. And, you know, we've talked about this before. If you're a driver, you've got a virtual pit crew in there. They're running out. They're changing your tires. They're jacking your car up. You're hearing the air gun. You know, the full experience going on there. But because of that, you have to be very precise in parking your car in that pit road. And when you get the concrete pit boxes and all that, so tough, so easy to slide through, undershoot it, too far left, too far right. And that looks like exactly what happened to Reese Milton there.
Yeah, it does stink. It is unfortunate, but good news for him, we're only on lap 16. It's early in this race, so he has plenty of time to recover. And he did finally get passed by Mikey Neal. I saw that Austin Edstrom led a lap, not Mikey Neal. But regardless, the point is it's early in the race. He still has plenty of time to get back to the front. There it is, a green flag back out again, and you got a few cars swerving there a little bit on the restart. Not sure if the tires may have spun a little bit.
Yeah, well, these guys are talking about how slick this track is, so wouldn't surprise me at all if there wasn't a little bit of tire spin on that restart. Austin Edstrom able to come out there in front and gets a great start, looking like he's pulling away. Meanwhile, Mikey Neal got himself a battle here with Jeremy Evans there for the second place already, so the 4-car. And if we watch that just a little bit, we'll see what we're talking about. 4-car pulls ahead in the corner, but the 8, because he's on the outside there, gets to that wall, able to carry that speed down the straightaway there.
Yeah.
And looks like the 4 are going to cross him over and try to get on the outside this time.
And they are really starting to amp it up here. We're 3 wide back here for James Morgan, Chris Brown, and Reese Milton. These guys are not giving this up at all right now. They all want to get in there and battle for every position. And these tires are fresh. This is the time to do it. Get in there and try to get every position you can. As it looks like the 3 of Damian Leininger has a little bit of damage now. And he may have scraped that wall pretty hard, but it's not slowing him down right now.
Yeah, look at Bryson Barker up there in that mix already, just 2 spots behind Reese Milton. Here's a guy that had to take an EOL at the beginning of the race. He's right behind Alex Huffman in that 83 car right now. And he's already put half the field in his rear view mirror and beginning his march to the front here, it looks like now.
Yeah, he definitely has started his way to the front. We'll see him. Can he get to the front, and can the 76 of Reese Milton get back to the front after that pit road mistake? That's something we're going to have to be watching for. He'd love to put that Global Building Contractors 76 in victory lane. To go a little bit back here, you still got some good battling going on for about 18th place. You got Brian Jones in 17th, Sam Crow 18th, 19th, John Van Varellis, who had the EOL, but John Van Varellis has been really fast lately. We've been seeing him up at the front. So the question is, will he be able to get back or up to the front after that EOL? Is with this caliber of a field, it is really hard to do that.
Yeah, it's a tough field. We've got a big field tonight. I think we've got 26 cars tonight. So, but this is one of those tracks where we talked about with the multiple grooves. You know, we're not fighting for the same line after 5 laps. There usually is a preferred line, but the other lines aren't so bad, and you can make some moves here. Watching Bryson Barker right now, thinking about taking it 3 wide there with the 1 of Chris Brown and 83 of Alex Huffman, and instead of taking it in the middle, he dives it down the inside and does take him 3 wide here, but they get settled out getting into the turn there.
And Alex Huffman really trying to recover. He is back to 8th now. As we'll pull up your information on him, he started 7th. second. He's in 7th now as he's racing with Bryson Barker, but he hit that wall pretty hard early in the race, and they do not have fast repairs here. They have to run whatever happens, so getting into that wall early in the race, that's not what you really want to do. You have to fight with that car the rest of the race. You can't go in there and just use a fast repair. So, you know, you really don't want to get too much damage too early in the race.
Man, that is a heck of a battle there when we're talking about Alex Upman there in the 83, Bryson Barker in the 84. The one at Chris Brown there, those 3 cars looking to be very equally matched right now. And I think Alex Huffman had to just kind of bail out of that just because he ran out of real estate there. But he's already back on the bumper of the 84 and taking an inside line there now, getting into this corner. So these guys are probably just eating up those tires. But, man, what a battle they got going on right now.
Yeah, and right in front of them is Chris Brown in that one car. He's definitely in the mix of this. He's not battling with these guys too much. And he's liking the fact that they're battling and wearing out those tires so he can try to pull ahead. But they're 3 wide coming to the line, and I think it's going to be Alex Huffman that does take the position of 6.
Yeah, and if Reese Melton could find a way to take it for a ride, if there was enough room, I think he'd do it right now. These guys obviously battling like that a little bit slower, and Reese Melton into that mix right now. Bryson Barker and Alex Huffman get by the one at Chris Brown, and now Reese Melton going to give it a shot. And so our 3-car battle has turned into one heck of a 4-car battle now.
It has indeed. And looking just ahead, a few spots, James Morgan just scraped the wall pretty good, but he did recover. So good job for him to recover from that. Didn't hurt him too bad. But you're right, that battle is starting to brew there. As we're looking here at our cautions real quick, we have 1 caution so far with 2 caution laps, 95 laps to go, so we're under the 100 laps to go mark. Bryson Barker definitely has recovered from that EOL to start the race.
Yeah, Bryson Barker, he's already up to 7th spot. We've been watching him for several laps here, battled out with Alex Huffman, Reese Milton, Chris Brown, and we got 4 very fast cars there. We've seen a couple of them running up front, starting the front row. Reese Milton, I believe, has led the most laps. So we got a lot of speed up there in that pack, and Bryson Barker just continues to march to the front.
He does indeed. Right now, Austin Edstrom out front, followed by Mikey Neal, Jeremy Evans, Charles Hoffman, and James Morgan. Those are your top 5 drivers. Alex Huffman and Bryson Barker on the outside looking in right now. So we're going to zoom out just a little bit here. That front little group is really kind of spread out. So the main action back here racing is about mid-pack 10th to about 15th. As Jameer Muhammad, not qualifying, is up to 9th from 17th. So he is definitely on the move right now.
Yeah, Jameer Muhammad, another one of those opting to start at the end of the line, also on the move up. Austin Edstrom, we highlighted him, didn't have a great qualifying effort, started 8th, was able to get his way through traffic, got right to the rear end of Mikey Neal and Reese Milton there when they were battling right before that caution came out, was able to come out of the pits in first place and look back. He's just kind of cruised to a half-second lead right now, and he just kind of comfortably in cruise control.
Yeah, it definitely has. As we're watching all of these guys battle, is just so there's so many battles going on right now. Again, it's the 3 of Damian Leininger. I don't know if you were watching that. He got real loose coming out of the corner. He was drifting it around the corner, scrapes the wall, but just one heck of a save for Damian Leininger. And I was just about certain that car was about to go around, but he manages to hang on to it.
Yeah, right at the exact times you said that, I was watching the 8 get loose in the same place. He started fishtailing that rear end a little bit and caught it. He didn't quite get sideways, but heck of a job catching that and not losing any places by Mikey Neal, too.
Yeah, definitely, again, just a heck of a save. And he's got the 42 on his back bumper now, Ray Moss, running that retro Jeff Gordon paint job out there. He had it last week and the week before. I do I believe so. A very nice looking paint job. And interesting, Chris Brown has fallen back just a little bit here. We'll pull up his driver information. He started in 10th place. He's back to 13th, so he has fallen back a little bit here, but he is definitely hanging in there. Right behind him, Dan Butler in the 21. Started 7th to 14th now, so he's also fallen back here just a little bit. But you know, this race is far from over.
Oh, not even close to over. So right now we've got James Morgan up there in the 12, fighting there with Alex Huffman and Bryson Barker, who was able to overtake him, but he's not giving it up easy. But look who else is up there in that mix right now, sitting on the inside of Reese Milton. Our champion, Jamir Mohammed, clears Reese Milton and moves into 8th place. So he's about ready to get there and mix it up with Bryson Barker, James Morgan, and Alex Huffman here. So this is shaping up to be a real good battle here for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th there in a second.
Yeah, it definitely is shaping it to be a very good race. And we're going to jump back up there. Again, the battle's all over the place here. Your pick, Jeremy Evans, is doing a fantastic job here. You know, we talk about him all the time, especially when he first came into this series. He came in with a bang, and then he kind of faded there a little bit towards after a couple of races. But he is back. He found whatever he was lost or missing. He is back to where he was, running 3rd place right now, ahead of some really heavy hitters in here. Charles Hoffman, Alex Huffman, Bryson Barker, Jamir Mohammed, even James Morgan. These guys in here, you know, just some real heavy hitters that he's ahead of, proving that he definitely can hang with this group. It's only a shame that he came in late, as again, this is the championship race. I would have loved to see him throughout the rest of the season. I think he may have been a contender.
Yeah, and I'm watching Mikey Neal here right now with Jeremy Evans. Jeremy Evans able to run him down. Mikey Neal struggling here a little bit, really chasing the rear end of that car, and looks like he's searching different lines too. So I don't know if Mikey Neal burned those tires off when he got loose earlier, and but look at how loose.
Oh, Mikey Neal's going around.
Bring it all around. Caution comes out. Mikey Neal able to save it, no damage, and going to be able to get 4 fresh tires on there. Wow, what a save by Mikey Neal.
That was a save right as you talking about. Caution comes out. You were just talking about how he burned those tires off possibly, and I think you were spot on there. As literally 45 seconds later, the car goes around, but another terrific save for Mikey Neal to not get into the wall. But that will bring out our second caution, and there's no question everybody's going to be coming down pit road. So we're going to watch pit road to see if we see anybody possibly make a mistake on pit road. Meanwhile, we are going to step away to a quick commercial break, so we will be right back. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. The lights are off. We have less than a lap to go, but while we were under caution, Jeff caught some people making little boo-boos on pit road. So, Jeff, who all did we catch?
Well, there was another one, and I didn't see who it was. Kind of didn't go back and look at it because the one that really caught my eye was our leader, Austin Edstrom. Overshot his pit box, had to back up, didn't back up far enough the first time, so had to do it again. And he lost 5 spots on pit road. So the 4-car, who I believe one of us picked in the pre-race for the winner, is our new leader here, followed by the 63 of Charles Hoffman, who we really haven't talked about too much here tonight. He's been up front. He qualified up front. He's been having a fantastic race. I don't think he's dropped out of the top 5, so he's been up front all night. We got Bryson Barker coming out in 3rd place there, Alex Huffman, so a couple spots gained for those guys. So, we've got a new group up front now.
Yeah, definitely new group out front. And speaking of out front, we are racing once again. We are now on lap 40 of 120. We're not quite to the closing laps, but the rate we're going with the very few cautions we've had, we're going to tick off laps very quickly, about 32 seconds, about 2 laps a minute, as this front group is really getting into it now.
Yeah, Bryson Barker did not waste any time at all getting around Charles Hoffman, so he's got his sights set on the lead, and he is pushing that car hard right now, trying to take advantage of that little bit of extra grip there and run some of these other lines that maybe not as fast later in the run here, but he is working it to try to catch that lead there.
Yeah, it definitely is, and you can see the span here as we're a little further out on the camera, so you can see just where everybody's running. They're running the top side, the middle, the bottom. They are running everywhere right now, and that is a product of just being able to do so. And we want to take here a little bit. I know it says the pre-analyst here, actually just says race analyst. Compared to some tracks, we started at 107. This track's only jumps 1 degree. Although that is probably not 100% accurate because we just had that caution, but 108 degrees is where we started here for the restart. So we'll check an eye on that throughout this race and see just how warm this track is getting, as it looks like Charles Hoffman's going to scrape the wall there in that 63 machine.
Yeah, and we know that track cooled down a couple degrees during pit stop, so and we weren't tracking that, but I'm going to guess this track is getting up to about 110, 111 there on that run there, which is definitely not helping these guys. Bryson Barker to the inside, though, going to try to take that lead, but unable to clear Jeremy Evans. He comes back on the straightaway, and he's got to try it again here in this set of corners.
Yeah, he is. Again, this is the closest this front group has been, as they're 2 wide, about 3 deep here. Earlier, they kind of spread out just a little bit, and this time not around. Jameer Muhammad, though, all the way up to 6th place. He is on the hunt. He's already our champion. He would love to cap it off with a win. I honestly think if we get another caution, I want to talk to him. I think he may have just started in the back just to give himself a little bit of a fun trying to get through this field. As we know, if he'd have qualified, he would have been in the top 5 for sure.
Well, speaking of getting through that field, Bryson Barker's done it. He is our new leader. He was able to get around Jeremy Evans. Alex Huffman was able to follow Bryson Barker through. So the two have been battling their way through the field since about 10th place. Now able to get up front, but Alex Huffman not quite able to complete that pass yet as he continues to work on it there on the low line. To clear him in the corner.
We got 2 cars going around in the back. I believe it's Damian Leiniger in the 22 of Jeff Pogo going around. This is the 3 of Damian Leiniger in the 22 of Pogo. No caution is out so far. They're at the back of the field, and they are out of harm's way for the moment. But if the 3 doesn't get going here.
There goes the 4. There goes a whole bunch more cars, man. I'm not sure what happened, but I saw the 4 just slam into the wall, and about 4 cars falling into it.
Yeah, the 4, the 1, and Mikey Neal getting involved in it as well. So Jeremy Evans was your pick here, getting involved in that.
A little contact with the 88 there.
Let's go back and watch here. Again, we already watched the other one that didn't bring out the caution, as that was what we were watching live there. And we're going back here to Mikey Neal. And there it is, contact between the 88 and the 4, and then contact between the 42 and the 8, collecting the 1. So we about 6 cars total getting involved, but only 4 of them actually leaving the racing surface, as they are going to have some landscaping duties here as they are tearing up that grass right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of fast cars caught up in that tonight. We got the 4, the 1, the 88. I don't think he got any damage. And we got the 8 of Mikey Neal. So some real fast cars caught up in that. We'll have to see what kind of damage they have. But Mikey Neal and Alex Huffman having that real tight battle here for second place. Not what either one of them wanted to see.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what happened to John Van Varellis there in the 87, if this was part of the same deal, but he has quite a bit of damage as well. The 1, I think, got the worst end of the deal as he's smoking pretty bad. Of course, that is the 1 of Chris Brown. So unfortunate for him. He definitely got stuff, and it looks like, I'm not sure, it looks like maybe the 3 car just got into the back bumper of the 22 on pit road as they were driving down. But you might take a look at that and see. It looked like he, I'm not sure if the 22 checked up or if he just gave him a shot to the back bumper there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't see that. We'll have to go back and see if we can't figure that out.
Definitely something to look at. Meanwhile, Bryson Barker comes out of pit road first. He is your race leader at the moment. We'll take a look at our top 5 here after 46 laps completed. It is Bryson Barker out front. He has now led 5 laps, followed by Alex Huffman, Charles Hoffman, Jameer Mohammed, and Reese Milton sitting in your top 5. Just on the outside looking in is the 12 of James Morgan.
Yeah, I see we've got a couple drivers, too. The 1 car who we were talking about earlier there, Chris Brown, having that fantastic run here this second half of the season. Took it behind the wall. I think the 22 just had to check up for the 1 as I was watching it, and the 3 got into him. I don't think there was anything intentional there.
Yeah, definitely nothing intentional. I think that maybe he just all the smoke that was there. I didn't think it looked intentional. He definitely tapped him there just a little bit. But as you said, the 1 of Chris Brown has put it behind the wall. To update here just a little bit, Jeremy Evans now 1 lap down. Jeff Pogo is on pit road as well. He is currently 1 lap down. Ray Moss 1 lap down in currently 24th. Matthew Ellis and Jonathan Ellis, 25th and 26th. They are 13 and 16 laps down out of the race. So out of the 26, we currently have 20 on the track right now, and we'll see if Jeremy Evans or Jeff Pogo can get it back on the track. Meanwhile, just noticed Damian Laniger in the 3 is coming back down pit road as he did have some damage.
Yeah, we've got a couple cars that have left here now. We've got Chris Brown, Ray Moss, Matthew Ellis, Jonathan Ellis all out of the race. Jeff Pogo still in the race there in that 22, also involved in that accident, but definitely some good cars tore up in there, and we'll have to see how they can continue.
Yeah, we don't know the details here, but we're getting word that the track police may have been involved with one of these drivers. So again, we don't know details on that, but it happens. You know, sometimes stuff can get heated on a racetrack.
It does happen, that is for sure. I went back and didn't really see anything that was obvious to me, so maybe it happened a little further back. I'm not sure. I'm sure we'll get all the details later.
Yeah, we'll definitely get the details later, but what we do know for a fact is the lights are off and we're double file. We're ready to go racing again. It is the leader, 84, Bryson Barker, opting to take the inside lane over the 83 of Alex Huffman. Very interesting. We have the 83 and 84 out front. Too bad we couldn't have 85 and 86 behind them, but it's not. It's kind of rare when you see numbers that close together up front.
I don't know that I've ever paid attention to that. I think it's your OCD might be kicking in here a little bit, Charles.
Well, OCD very well could be kicking in. And meanwhile, speaking of what's kicking in, Bryson Barker kicking it into overdrive as he just flew off the line out of a cannon as he's leaving this pack behind. He has got a .333 second lead over Alex Huffman, Charles Hoffman, Jameer Mohammed, James Morgan, and Reese Milton right now. Again, just shot out of a cannon on that restart.
Yeah, and we got a real tight race in there. Reese Milton, Brian Dorsey right now look like just inches separate them. I thought for sure Reese Milton was going to go around there, but we got that whole pack right now, probably about 3 through 10, too wide, and really tight racing. We got some guys that really want to finish this season on a good note, and we've seen some pretty aggressive racing out there tonight. The good kind of clean aggressive, but still some pretty aggressive racing nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely some good clean racing here. And they're not done racing just yet. So we are on lap 52 of 120. We'll pull up our laps remaining. 69 laps remaining. We've only had 3 cautions, so a very few cautions here tonight for only 9 laps out of those 51 laps completed so far. We're getting close to the halfway point, but we're not there just yet. And interesting enough here, as we're looking throughout this field, this time around, they're really getting single file. They are here and there getting double file, but a lot of them are single file here. We did not see that in the first half of this race.
Well, and they're just getting single file because we saw a lot of 2 wides. We were racing just a second ago, and but I think they're starting to get a little spread out. We've got that group there starting with about the 9 car of Brian Dorsey, with Brian Joins, Reese Milton and stuff. They're still getting a little bit of 2 wide going on there as Reese Milton takes it to the outside of the 45 of Brian Jones and tries to get him around him there. Meanwhile, the 45 looks to the inside of the 9 of Brian Dorsey. So still a little racy in that pack.
And another driver we haven't mentioned a whole lot here. We're going to go back to 14th. That is the 11 of Dennis Ellis. Had he was one of them that had the EOL from the start of the race, from last race. He has worked his way up to 14th. Let's pull his information up here. He started 21st. He's up to 14th, so he has definitely made some really good progress throughout this race, and he is not done yet. I expect to see him gain a few more spots here as we have some really good racing going on between these guys.
Yeah, and it looks to me like the 8 of Mikey Neal may have taken it over the wall. So we knew he was a pretty torp car. I didn't see if he blew up or anything, but it looks like he pulled it off the track here a couple laps ago and called it a night. Yeah,
that is unfortunate. He had a fast car, but just not going to be his night. And again, what that will do, though, for, I believe it was Alex Huffman in the 83, that will pretty much secure his spot for second place in the points.
It does, and with the drops, because Bryson Barker's dropping a 0 there, and I know Austin Estrom's dropping a 0. Not sure what it does for him on the points. I think he was still good enough to solidly land 3rd. Even with a 21st place finish tonight, I think he's still good there, but it would be something, my napkin math could be off a little bit there.
Yeah, well, it's something we'll have to definitely take an extended post-race show here and possibly get Justin Starr in here as league owner and kind of figure that out. We'll try to do that before we do go to the post-race show, so we can not only talk to your champion, who right now will be in the post-race show anyways. He's sitting in 3rd place, as well as Alex Huffman, who's, as they run anyway, would be in the post-race show, organically. But they're 4 wide here for the moment. Brian Jones leading that pack. It was Brian Dorsey, Brian Bizzle, Reese Milton, and Austin Edstrom that went 4 wide around the corner.
Yeah, I went back to see what happened to Mikey Neal there. Looked like his engine actually gave out, but he was sliding all over the place. That car just had way too much damage, and engine finally gave out, so looking like he's done for the night.
Yeah, that is extremely unfortunate for him. Hopefully he'll be able to hang on to 3rd place in the points. But again, it's just the devastating night for him here. And once again, I think the rate we're going 12 laps into this stint, we're about to have another long green flag run. And I know you were down there talking to some of these drivers. Did you, actually I think you said it earlier, got a fuel window here for us for this race?
Yeah, we had one driver say that he was able to get 35 laps out of this. I had a couple drivers questioning that, thinking maybe 32. I'm not sure. I think the way these tires are running and all this, these guys are going to do the math. Split the laps remaining on the race by some equal number with as few pit stops as possible and go from there. So it looks to me like we started this on about lap 47, Charles. And so that would leave us roughly 83 to go. It's a 3-stint race there, so somebody better at math than me probably needs to look at that, but I think you're probably looking at about 27 or 28 laps here. Somewhere in that vicinity is where we're probably going to see some guys pitting.
Yeah, it definitely is, and they're starting to really start moving back and forth here and jockeying for position. We are now halfway done with this race. We're on lap 61. We have completed 60 laps, 60 to go. Again, 120 laps, 180 miles what these guys are running. And I can promise you they are going to be tired after this race. And, ready for it to be over. They love racing, but you're always ready for it to start. And then you're really ready for it to end when it gets done.
Yeah, and I got to ask you, Charles, and I'm going to probably feel pretty silly when you answer this, but the 45 of Brian Jones, is he new to this series? Is this, either we haven't talked about him much before or what, but he's up there running really good tonight, solid in the top 5, and, I don't recall talking about him much before, so do you know if he's new?
He is indeed. He's been here, I believe this is his 3rd race. He was actually one of them that came over from my own league to come over to this one. So, yeah, he was actually, this is, I believe, his 3rd, maybe 4th, but I believe 3rd race with them.
Okay, so new enough. Sorry I haven't noticed him in the previous 2, but having a really good run tonight, that 45 car is.
Yeah, he's a good driver. Definitely worthy of being up there in the top 5. If he'd have been here all season, I think he would have been one that we'd have had to watch out for. Because I've seen him race quite often. He's a very skilled driver, and he knows what he's doing out there. So he knows how to tune a car, but obviously this is fixed setup. They don't have to tune on him. So that's one less thing they have to worry about here. We'll check in here real quick, real quick, if we can get it out. The 20 of Damian Laniger just went back on pit road. He's been on there for about a minute. He was in pit road for 49 seconds. So I think he was getting some more damage repaired as he is now 2 laps down, coming back out onto the track.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jameer Mohammed in the 14 finally able to get by Alex Huffman, gets sole possession of 2nd place now. And he's got his eyes set, going to try to run down our leader, Bryson Barker, who's got a 2-second gap on him right now. But Jameer Mohammed and Bryson Barker both started in the back of this race tonight, in the back of the pack. And they are now running 1 and 2.
They are indeed, and what a feat it would be. Again, and the stories behind those starting in the back are totally different. Jameer Mohammed, I'm not sure, we don't know, we'll definitely be talking to him, if he just opted to start in the back or if something happened. But Bryson Barker having an EOL, that's why he was back there. And it right there goes to show you why those are 2 of the fastest drivers in this league, is starting at the back, work their way all the way to 1st and 2nd here. And while we're at it, let's pull up our race progress here and toggle that. They are actually tied right now for 15 positions gained.
Yeah, I mean, they've come from the back to the front, and Brian Jones, who we talked about in 5th place, also started in the back and didn't take qualifying. So it seems like we've got more guys in the top 5 right now that started in the back of the pack than we do that started up front. The only 2 that we've got up in that top 5 that started in the top 5 were Alex Huffman, Charles Hoffman. Otherwise, we've got Bryson Barker, Jameer Mohammed, and Brian Jones, who started 16, 17, and 18.
Yeah, so these guys are definitely moving right now. So it's just and it's interesting to watch how this race progresses, how these drivers progress throughout this series here. Ones that we've seen throughout the series that were 10th, 11th place battling are now up here battling for the lead. Sam Crow, we haven't talked about him a whole lot, but he is up there running in 7th place right now. James Morgan. Reese Milton has led laps. He's trying to get back up there. He's currently in a 3-way battle back here for 8th.
Yeah, Sam Crow started in 24th place tonight, right? So he's up 17 positions. He is the biggest mover in this race. Bryson Barker, Jameer Muhammad up front. They've gone about as far as they can get 15 positions. I guess Jameer Muhammad technically could move up one more. But they've gained 15. But Sam Crow started in 24th place. He's up 17 spots to the 7th position. Brian Jones up 13 spots. We got Brian Bizzle, Dennis Ellis moving through the field up 8 and 9 spots each. Craig Covington, he's gained 12 spots. So a lot of the drivers that started in the back tonight working their way up front, and a lot of the drivers that spent a lot of time up front out of the race.
Yeah, they definitely are. And we got another 3-wide battle again back here between Brian Bizzle, Brian Dorsey, and Dennis Ellis back for 10th, 11th, and 12th. As it looks like James Morgan's going to get it, but Brian Dorsey in the 9 almost getting into the grass. He had to make some evasive action there between him and the 28 as the 11 of Dennis Ellis scrapes the wall. Justin Starr right behind him in 13th. Got a little scare there.
Oh, look at the 9. He got all kinds of loose, able to chase it all the way down to that bottom lane. He was able to gather it up and get going. It was a great save by him, but he lost several spots, including the next spot back of the 99 of Justin Starr, and I believe the 96 of Craig Covington also going to get by him. So lost about 5 spots there, but fantastic save by the 9 car. And hopefully he doesn't have those rear tires too upset at him.
Yeah, Dan Butler back in 15th right now. Take a look. I believe, if I'm correct, he started 7th. He's back to 15th. So he's fallen off a little bit. He had a really good qualifying lap. Has fallen off a little bit, unfortunately, here in the race. He is on the hunt right now. He's going to try to get by the 9 of Brian Dorsey as well, and he will clear him for a 14th position.
Yeah, I just want to highlight, too, the 83 car. We've talked about it in various spots. He started on the front row. Benny's had a fantastic night tonight. He got into the wall on that first lap. It did slow his car down. He lost some positions. But I watched him battle through the field, and he gave 2 of our big 4 members there, Bryson Barker, Jameer Muhammad, everything they could handle. They could not get by him. They can't shake him. I realize Bryson Barker's got the field here a little bit now towards the tail end of this run, but for the most part, Alex Huffman, part of that is we got a car in the grass not too far behind him. I'm not sure if that wasn't Brian Jones.
We'll see. Brian Jones is on track now, and I thought it was Damian Leininger, but he is actually coming back down pit road again. He's going to get some more damage repaired. That car probably is not handling the way he wants it to with all that damage, so he's going to get in and get little repairs done. Brian Dorsey, though, coming down pit road in 18th place in that 9 machine. So again, the 9 of Brian Dorsey coming down pit road, and only 27 laps on this stint. So I'm not thinking this is a scheduled stop.
Yeah, we thought around 27, 28 laps they might start pitting on this stint. So I think it's time for green flag stops. That's exactly where we said we thought they might start, and it looks like they're starting.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. If I looking at my math here, that is correct. So yeah. He's going to be one of the first ones coming in. The question is, when will our leaders start coming in? Once those leaders start coming in, we'll probably see more. Justin Spear in that 77 is going to start coming down pit road as well, as he is getting ready to get in his pit stall. But so far, again, none of your top 10 come in. And I think the 84 Bryson Barker is trying to cut some draft here off of Jameer Muhammad.
Yeah, I think one of our leaders there, maybe Bryson Barker there, is slowing down the pit or something happened because he just lost about 2 seconds of lead. He is off pace. I'm not sure. Jameer Muhammad and Alex Huffman both closed probably about 1.5 seconds on him. So I expect to see him pit here. I don't know if he got the wall, but he's battling a very, very loose car right now.
Yeah, he's not coming down pit road, so I'm with you. I think he may have scraped the wall there. As I thought he was, we caught him right at the tail end when he was going way down to the bottom on the apron nearly. I thought he was just trying to maybe cut some draft off here, but he has slowed up a ton. As he is still under power, I believe. He is up to 180 and he's gone up. So he does have fuel, it does look like, as he is gaining speed. But I thought maybe he ran out of fuel, but I think you're right. I think he just hit the walls. He almost gets loose again.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I think he may have some damage there. And I don't know if he just overheated those tires. Splitter looks okay. I have not actually seen any damage. I'm not sure what's going on with the car, nor am I I'm also not sure why he's not pitting. If that car is that big of a handful and that hard to drive right now, we're within a pit window, so not sure why he's not pitting unless he seems to think that he can stretch those to do it on one last stop. But there's an evil handling car right now. I'm watching that rear end come around on every corner, and he's having to catch it. And he's probably a half a second slower right now than Jameer Muhammad and Alex Huffman have been on a few of those laps. Looks like he found a little bit of speed on the last one, but he has got his hands full.
Yeah, he definitely has hands full. Hands full right now. We'll get it out eventually. But right now, yeah, you're right. Jameer Muhammad is reeling him in very quickly. Something drastic has happened there to that car as he's going to slide it up. Jameer Muhammad's going to come in and close once again. But even with him being that close, he hasn't quite got by him. But Jameer Muhammad will officially right there lead his first lap. So the 14 of Jameer Muhammad now our leader. And it looks like he will clear him here officially. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, and with the, we got, 40 laps to go. I guess if they think they can get 5 more laps out of this, they can do this on one less fuel stop. And with those caution laps, let's see, we were told 2 more green flag laps. So with the caution laps, if they're 2 to 1, it's possible that they might be able to get 4 or 5 more laps out of this. I can see why they're staying out now. And it's also possible that maybe Bryson Barker's saving a lot of fuel here too. And going to try to get that extra lap right now. I know I've seen that rear sliding all over the place, but slow as some of those laps were, and he seems to have found a little bit of speed again. I'm not sure he didn't just save a little bit of fuel there, so he doesn't have to save on that next fuel run, because it's pretty obvious to me that most of these guys are going to try to do this on the one-stop strategy and not the two-stop strategy that we thought they were going to need.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I don't know if that question was posted a little while ago, but to Mike Neal for the 8. Mikey Neal is out of the race, currently 31 laps down after a wreck he was involved in. He has put it behind the wall, so unfortunate. I'm not sure if that was said after that question was asked, but that is where he is. And it looks like Jameer Muhammad is coming down pit road, and so is Bryson Barker and a ton of other drivers. Reese Milton, Dan Butler, Justin Starr, Brian Bizzle, John Van Verellis, and Scotty Zerk all coming down pit road.
Yeah, so these guys are going to be probably, assuming lap 35 here is when these guys had to come down, assuming that's the end of that stint. For them, they're out of fuel. I'm showing them about 3 laps short here at the end, so it looks like we're going to have a lot of strategy to end this race. Unless we have a caution, you're probably going to have guys trying to figure out how to save 3 laps of fuel, and that is a lot of fuel to save. Don't know if they can do it. So we may have splash and dash. We may have some 2-tire stops. My kind of racing here at the end, a lot of fuel strategy coming into play.
Yeah, it definitely is. And there goes Alex Huffman coming down pit road now. Charles Hoffman is going to be coming down as well. As we'll see right now. Well, I say that. Oh, there we go. He is coming down. So far, James Morgan has not come in, and he is going to cycle to the front of this field. And I believe when it's all settled out, if he doesn't pit this time, he will lead his first lap.
Yeah, James Morgan got 37 laps out of that tank. Nobody else was able to get 37 laps. So if he can make it back to pit road, I believe he would have saved 2 of the 3 laps that we think they need to save in order to do this, leaving him in real good shape for that final stint, meaning he's only probably got to save 1 lap.
Yeah, definitely does. We'll see how it all plays out. He's not going to come in. Brian Dorsey, after all the luck he's had, he is currently sitting in second place right now, so a good job for him. He's not going to come down this time either, but what a run. He has had really good battles a little further back. To be running in second place right now is really good, but he hasn't pitted. Him and James Morgan are staying out. I'm wondering if they're trying to bank on a caution, but right now with all these fresh tires, I think that risk of a caution kind of went down about 50 to 60%.
No, I think James Morgan there was trying to save those 3 laps of fuel, and looks like he got it done. He made it 38 laps. He was quite a ways off pace, saw cars just flying by him. Brian Dorsey is 12 laps onto this pit stop, so he went with the extra pit stop strategy. He stopped about lap 27, lap 28, and he's cycling out front, but he's going to have to make an extra pit stop. So I like his strategy if there's another caution, but if this thing goes green, he's going to have to make that extra stop. Of course, we don't know how many of these guys are going to be able to save that 3 laps of fuel we think they need to save yet.
Yeah, and we definitely don't. What we do know, though, is your champion coming into tonight's race, Jameer Muhammad, is out front. He has now led 4 laps here for tonight's race. He hasn't led as many as we're used to seeing, but then again, he started in the back, and there goes the 12 of James Morgan out onto the track as they are coming down the backstretch here. Just to update everyone here as to what is going on, if you're just joining us, we have only had 3 cautions here for tonight's race. Only 9 laps under caution out of the 87 now completed. 33 laps to go. This race is winding down very quickly.
Yeah, it is. These guys putting on one heck of a show, man. First half of this race was 2 wide, 3 wide. We had cars in the infield. We had cars sliding sideways. We lost a lot of good cars in the early outs. And, wow, speaking of good cars, I'm looking at my timing screen, and Austin Instruments taking over the wall 6 laps ago. I have no idea what happened there.
I do not either, as we did not catch that, but that is very unfortunate for him. So 2 very good drivers out of the race. Damian Leininger, who we saw come down pit road quite often. He came down several times. He was involved in a caution. He has also taken it behind the wall. We currently have 18 of our 26 drivers on the track right now. As you're watching right behind your leader, there's a really good battle going on with Bryson Barker in here. You've also got James Morgan, who is currently 1 lap down. He is the first car lap down in 15th place.
Yeah, James Morgan stayed out there, saved that extra fuel. So I don't think he's got to do any saving. I think he'll get that lap back. But Bryson Barker came out of the pits about a second behind Jameer Muhammad and had just about run him down there.
Yeah, he has almost run him down. We'll see if he can get back up to him right now. Those are probably your fastest 2 as a caution's out.
That's a game changer.
It is, and looking at, I believe it's for the 28 of Brian Bizzle. Let's go back and take a quick look and see if it is. Back on the VRN replay camera here, we'll see exactly what happened as Brian Bizzle was battling with the 63 and the 45. That is Huffman and Jones. He's battling with here, and I'm not sure if he had any help or if he just got loose. But he was off the track, and he makes a little contact there with the 45. I'm not sure. He was up to the top, so Brandon may have slid up just a hair, or he may have come down just a hair. Regardless of what happened, contact was made, and the 28 goes around.
Yeah, and Scotty Zerk lost control there, actually under pacing of his car there. Not sure what happened. He slowed down to get the pits, locked up the brakes, ran, came around, and he slid into the wall.
Oh, that is unfortunate, and looks like, we've said it all race long here. Everybody's going to come down pit road. I don't expect to see anybody, not with this many laps left to go, as we are on caution 4 with 11 laps, 29 to go. You're going to be at 20 to go here very shortly. Reese Milton is right now being scored as your race leader because he's at the front here, and he has some damage now. So we'll see how they all shake it up. It looks like Jameer Muhammad's going to get out first.
Yeah, Jameer Mohammed going to retain the lead. Alex Huffman actually looking like going to come away with second place. Bryson Barker, a little bit of a slow pit stop, 16.4 seconds in the pits. I'm wondering if he was repairing some damage. Alex Huffman, though, I think got 2 tires. So bold move by Alex Huffman with 28 laps remaining. 2-tire stop. Hoping he knows something I don't, because that's a bold move. We'll call it that.
It is indeed a very bold move. We'll see if it is a winning move here shortly. Again, we have roughly pull that back up, 29 laps to go, 28 now. So there is not a lot of time. And the rate we've gone here with only 4 cautions, and they've been really spread out, I think we'll probably finish this race out under green. We could see one more caution. We don't know. It's racing, but I think we'll probably go green the rest of this way, just based on the facts of this race.
I'm not sure what facts you're basing it on, but this is the last sprint of the race. We've got enough gas to go to the end. We've just bunched all these cars up. If you're in the middle of the back of the pack or even close to the front, this is your best shot to get those extra positions. I'm expecting guys to be extra aggressive on this restart. You know, we're terrible at predicting these things, but I'm going to take the other side of that bet, Charles.
Well, that's definitely a possibility here. Again, you know, we've seen some really green flag runs here, long green flag runs. But, like you said, we're in the closing stages. People are going to start ramping it up a little bit. We could see another caution. It is very likely with any type of racing that in those closing laps, that is when people push the hardest, and that's when mistakes happen. What we do know for a 100% fact is we'll find out here in about a lap or two.
Yeah, we're going to definitely find out here in a couple laps. So they're still pacing around. Looks like Jeremy Evans might pick. Hopefully I didn't curse him tonight. He's taking a wave around, but sure feels like I might have.
Yeah, you may have there with the broadcaster's curse. It's unfortunate. That curse seems to strike when it wants to. Sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. As we'll look to see where my pick is. He's back in 13th right now on the lead lap. So I'm not saying he's out of this. He's still got a chance. We'll see. They are double file, getting ready to take the green one more time. Will it be the last time they take the green, or will we see another caution and regroup this field and take another stab at it here? You know, if you're a driver out there, you don't want to see cautions unless you lose the lead. If you're a little further back, maybe you want to see a caution so you can regroup and have another shot at it.
Yeah, I think the only guys that may not want to see cautions are those that are involved and those that are in front. I think everybody else is liking the idea of grabbing a couple positions on a restart and re-racking them and trying it again.
Yeah, that is definitely true there. So we'll see. They are racing once again. A green flag is out. We're on lap 95 of 120. And it is Jameer Mohammed out front, followed by Bryson Barker. And we'll see. You know, we saw Bryson Barker out front. He really had a good jump. Jameer Mohammed didn't have quite as good a jump here as Bryson Barker did when he started on the lead here, restarted on the lead. And that has let the rest of these guys hang in there. You have Alex Huffman, Brian Jones, Brian Dorsey, Brian Bizzle, all within about a tenth of the lead.
Yeah, Alex Huffman was passed pretty quickly on that restart. I'm guessing his 2 tires did not allow him to get on the throttle. Probably a little bit of wheel spin there on that restart. Thought he was stacking some guys up in front of him, but seems to have gapped him a little bit here. So other than a shaky restart, at least for the first couple laps, he seems to be doing all right on that 2-tire call.
And there was actually just some contact between the 45 of Brian Jones and I believe that was the 9 of Brian Dorsey. Those two did make contact there. Both of them recovered. However, Brian Dorsey will lose about 4 or 5 spots out of the deal.
Yeah, I missed the contact there. I was kind of watching Alex up in there to see what those 2 tires look like. If I'm one of these drivers out there and we get another pit coming up, I'm certainly wanting to pay attention to Alex Huffman there. and see how these early laps went on those 2 tires. And so far, the returns are good. He's not quite as fast as our 2 leaders, but nobody else is really gaining on him. And it looks like Bryson Barker has caught up to the back bumper of Jameer Muhammad and looking for a way by. Bryson Barker wants that lead again.
Yeah, definitely Bryson Barker is not going to be settling for second place again. This is the last race here of the of this series, so he definitely wants to get the win here before they move on to the All-Star race. And again, the top 25 in points are locked into that All-Star race, and I can only imagine that is going to be a really good race.
Yeah, and I think they got some pretty good cash prizes on the line too. If I don't remember, or if I remember correctly, there's $100 to the winner, and then is it the next 5 places all collect $25? Is that how that works, Charles?
Let me get a confirmation on that. I have the information. Let's see. First, it gets $100. Second through fifth, you are correct, get $25. So there is going to be some serious money on the line for that particular race. These drivers really would love to walk away with $100.
Yeah, absolutely. And watching Brian Jones there, I want to get back to talking about that All-Star race because that's a pretty neat thing these guys do. But Brian Jones looked like he was in the wall there a little bit, going through 1 and 2, lost a couple spots. So, my view, I couldn't tell if he got all the way into the wall or not. But definitely ran a lot higher than I would have expected, pushed all the way up to the wall, and did lose a position there.
He definitely lost the position. We'll see if he can get it back, as that is a nice little group right in there, all the way from the 28 back to about the 11 of Dennis Ellis, who is working his way up through this field. As we'll take a look here, he is currently in 7th, starting 21st. He has definitely worked his way through this field.
Yeah, we've a lot of the guys that started up front are no longer racing here tonight. We've got a lot of guys that have either taken damage and are running around the back of this pack now, or have taken it over the wall. And conversely there, we've got 3 guys in our top 5 that started in the back of the pack, didn't even take qualifying time. So Bryson Barker, who started the night with an EOL, Jameer Muhammad, who opted for 1, and Brian Jones, also in our top 5, who opted for a no qualified time too and started 24th. So a lot of guys coming from the back to the front tonight.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I'm not sure what happened there to the 9 of Brand Dorsey, as we saw just for a split second he got sideways, and I'm not sure if he had any contact with another car, but he was definitely sideways on the back stretch a second ago. But he does recover from it again, and he's been all the way up as high as 2nd. Now he's back in 9th place right now, still in a top 10 position, but Craig Covington and Reese Milton are trying to get up there and take that position away from him, and we'll see if they can do it here. We now have 17 laps to go.
Yeah, Alex Huffman tires finally look like they've given up the ghost on him a little bit. Brian Bizzle and Brian Jones are all over his back bumper. It looks like he might be holding them up a little bit. Meanwhile, Bryson Barker and Jameer Muhammad able to put a pretty substantial gap between them and 3rd place. And they're still going at it. Bryson Barker still probing the inside there, looking for a way around Jameer Muhammad, trying to get a nose to the inside, but unable to. But that battle continues here with 15 to go. I don't expect it to fizzle out anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't either. We're watching them right now. I don't expect that battle to go anywhere. Right behind them, though, look at this little battle going on here. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and even 6th. Back to 7th, you've got Alex Huffman. Brian Bizzle. They switching spots right there. Brian Jones, Charles Hoffman, Dennis Ellis, Sam Crow, and Brian Dorsey. That little group right there is 3 wide actually at the moment, and none of them want to give that spot up.
Yeah, the 28 car wisely pulls out on the inside there as Alex Huffman goes around there, and the 83 car, he of the 2 tires somehow goes all the way through traffic, manages to take it to the apron safely, comes back on the track, misses everyone, and somehow, some way, did not trigger a caution. Not sure exactly how he managed that or how the caution wasn't triggered, but some great driving there by Alex Huffman.
Yeah, and they're splitting him here, there, and just trying to do everything they can to avoid getting into him. He is being scored back in 15th position now, as Justin Starr in 16th. He may catch him soon, but Justin Starr's gotten some damage. I don't know when he got that, but he has definitely got some damage to the back and front of that car. So that's unfortunate for him, but he is potentially going to go a lap down now, and that's unfortunate for Alex Huffman, as he may go a lap down if they have time to catch him. With 13 to go, I'm wondering if they have time. I don't think they're going to.
Yeah, Charles Hoffman just got super loose coming up that corner. We're getting a lot of loose cars out there. I'm guessing our track's heating up again. And he just chased it all the way down to the infield grass and caught it. So we're seeing some real great saves out of this crew. Checking the track temperature, I'm still showing 108. So not sure I can blame the track heating up on that. Maybe it's just the old tires. These guys are driving it hard. But we're seeing a lot of guys get sideways and a lot of guys chasing their car.
And there are a lot of guys just driving as hard as they can, and they know this is for the championship. While they may not be in contention for the points lead, they know that the top 25 locked in, so they want to get every position they can, because again, this race doesn't necessarily mean you finish good and you're in. It's they still have a drop week that will take effect when this race is done. Then it will drop one of their lowest races, so they want to finish as best they can.
Yeah, I'd like to point out now that our top 5 cars are all cars that did not qualify. These guys all started at the back of the pack, opted not to qualify. A couple of them didn't have a choice. But with Charles Hoffman sliding it down to the infield there and having to catch it and coming out of the top 5, Jamir Muhammad, Bryson Barker, Brian Bizzle, Dennis Ellis, and Brian Jones are all cars that started in the back of the pack.
Definitely very cool to see the guys not opting to qualify or just having an EOL all going in there. That just shows you, you can come into a league, start in the back, or be told to start in the back and work your way up to the front. It's not necessarily the ideal way to do it, but it can be done. These guys are proving it right now, and Bryson Barker is still trying to run down Jamir Muhammad here with 10 to go.
Yeah, and Sam Crow's trying real hard to make it our top 6. As Charles Hoffman gets it on the wall, Sam Crow gets by him, and now he makes the 6th car that started at the back of the pack that now resides in the top 6. So yet another car from the back to the front. So now our first 6 places are all non-qualifying cars from back to front. So that's not something that happens very often.
Yeah, it is not, and that's what I was just thinking of. I can't remember a time that actually has happened, for that matter, at least not that I can recall, for the top 6 drivers to not qualify and be in the top 6. I can't recall a time that's ever happened.
If it has, I wasn't one of the 6 cars that didn't make the qualifying time, or I'd have remembered it. So I don't remember being in a race where that happened, and I certainly don't remember watching a race where it happened. Obviously, we don't always have timing boards up when we're racing or watching a race, so it's not like right in front of our face. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, this is a first for me.
It is definitely a first for me as well. Right now, we have 7 laps to go. Let's go up here to this little group right here. Look at them. Dennis Ellis. Oh, and there's contact made. Dennis Ellis going around there. Caution out.
Caution's out. Going to regroup them, re-rack them, and we're going to get about a green-white check here, I think, out of this.
We are, and we're going to go back and take a look. We were watching it live. I'm not sure exactly what brought out the caution. It was this group, I do believe. But they were still a little sideways. Wasn't even officially, I would classify as a wreck, as the 28 does get a little sideways. He gets out of shape. Again, that is Brian Bizzle, and coming in right in here, the 11, I think, just got loose. I'm not sure if there was contact, but we're going to go back again and take another look at that.
Yeah, and right now I'm wondering about pit straight. 2 to go. What do you do? I think, judging by the fall off on these cars, I think you got to pit. So do you take 2 tires or 4 tires for Alex up and hang in there pretty good? But it was tough on the restart for him. But he hung in for about 10 laps before that car gave up on him. So I think if I'm anywhere up front, I want 4 tires. And, if I'm somewhere in that middle of the pack or maybe the tail end of the front part, I might give what Alex Huffman showed me might be workable a shot there and see if I can't get some track position up front. As Jameer Muhammad comes in and Bryson Barker, the 28 of Brian Bizzle, and the 45 of Brian Jones. Lots of cars stay out, so I'm not sure. We'll see how many stay out. I keep seeing them come by, so maybe Bryson Barker would be a good call. It looks like the top 8 cars have all opted to stay out, and depending on how many we have to go, we'll see if that's a good call. Man, I still like having those good tires, but getting by 8 cars is going to be tough.
Yeah, and I'm interested here. We see the 28 and the 11 being scored right now. The 28 of Brian Bizzle in second. The 11 of Dennis Ellis in fourth. Those two, to my knowledge, unless there was another car that wrecked or another incident on the track, those two got together. It looked like the 11 of Dennis Ellis came down a little bit and got into the 28, but both of them still being scored in second and fourth right now, even though both of them were involved in that caution. So I'm not sure. Typically iRacing will throw credit to a particular driver, but both of them still being scored in the top 5. So that is very interesting.
Well, iRacing doesn't do any EOLs or anything like that for cause of caution. So if you're able to gather it back up and get it moving, it'll score you where you were when the timing lights cross. So happens all the time.
Well, it will be interesting to see, and he obviously, if you doesn't give you enough damage to have to go down pit road, why not stay out here? You're being scored in fourth. We're going to be keeping an eye on this here as we are looking here. These are the drivers that did not come down during this caution here. Bryson Barker, Brian Bizzle, Brian Jones, so 3, Bryson Barker, sorry, Dennis Ellis, Reese Milton, Dan Butler, James Morgan, Justin Starr. Those drivers did not come down pit road to take tires. The first one that did is the 14 of Jameer Muhammad. He is the one I think is in a good seat if those fresh tires can get him to the front. If they can't, I think Bryson Barker's sitting in the best seat. So, 2 different strategies. Somebody's got to win.
Way to commit, Charles.
I have commitment issues. What can I say? But, yeah. If the fresh tires are that much better and he can get through this field, Jameer Muhammad made a winning decision. However, if he doesn't have the time to get through there, I think the 84 Bryson Barker had a good call. If I had to pick one, you're going to make me, I would probably say the 84 Bryson Barker, just because even with those fresh tires, Jameer Muhammad has a ton of cars to go through.
Yeah, that's a lot of traffic to go up through, man, but he's going to have tires that are going to let him drive anywhere he wants. We'll see how he gets by these first few cars, but man, that's a tough call. I guess I'll take the other side of that bet just because it's kind of a coin flip here. I'll take the 14 on those fresh tires, but it really depends on how hard of a time these first 4 or 5 cars give him as he tries to get by. If he can clear those first couple rows quickly, I really like his chances. If he gets hung up, I don't. The other thing that makes me nervous is old tire cars next to new tire cars. I think there's a good chance another caution comes out and ends this because we're going to have a big speed discrepancy between 2 groups of tires. So good chance for a wreck where those 2 groups are getting together.
Yeah, definitely will be interesting to see. And unfortunately, Randall, this is the final broadcast of the night. We had one earlier, but this is the last one. Pace car dives off. Green flag is in the air, and we have a big pile up. Oh, I say that. No caution so far. The caution has not come out. There it is. The race is over. Well,
those old tires couldn't handle the restart. Those guys spun the tires, man.
Let's
and
go.
It's the only thing we didn't mention about the old tires.
Let's go back and we'll take a look as chaos ensued here on the restart. Again, didn't mention tire spin, but we did mention the speed discrepancy as these cars not getting up to speed. Well, they didn't even get a chance to get up to speed as you're about to watch it again here. As there it is, the 28, the 11, the 21, the 78. Looks like Jameer Muhammad getting involved. Just a ton of drivers involved in this. The 9 of Brian Dorsey. It would be the 83 getting involved, the 4, the 99, the 87. Let's just say who wasn't involved in this caution. We would probably be a little better off. But the white flag is in the air. It is now 1 lap to go, presented by Northwest Racing Series. As it's going to be the 84 of Bryson Barker officially taking the checkered flag and winning this race here for this championship round.
Yeah, it looked like 3 or 4 cars up there in the front. Easily, at least 3 or 4 cars spun their tires. So 25 laps on those tires. It was the one thing we didn't talk about, probably was restarting on those old tires. And you had a bunch of guys that, they'd had fresh tires every time tonight. So this is probably their first time on the old tires out there. But we saw Alex Huffman struggle to get started on 2 tires. We should have known that no tires on 25 laps was going to be very, very precarious there.
Yeah, and, Bryson got lucky it wasn't him. If it had been him, we'd have really had things shake up. But, he did good. He got the start he needed, and, he let them deal with it behind him. So good job for Bryson Barker. Brian Jones will end up second, and Sam Crow will finish in third place. And not sure what's going on down there. The 84 coming down and just sideswiping the 44 of Brian Jones there after the race is over. I'm not sure if he was attempting to do some donuts or not, but regardless, before we get to the post-race show, we are going to, of course, get to your unofficial race results. So that being said, we'll hop over to that. And, Jeff, you want to go through our top 15, and then I will bring us home.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to watch that incident with the 45 and the 44 there. A little strange there. 45 actually came off the pit access road, drove it up onto the track, and got into the 84. So could have been congratulatory. We don't know, but
while we do there, before we get to the results here, we pulled them up. I would imagine Brian is new to the league, so he may not have known he was supposed to stage for the photo. That may have been what caused that.
Yeah, well, regardless, we get them both up here in the booth, so we can ask them here after the race because they are our first and second place finishers. So your winner tonight, the 84 of Bryson Barker. Bringing it home first. In second, the 45 of Brian Jones. In third, we got the 70 of Sam Crow. In fourth, we got the 96, who we did not talk about, of Craig Covington, but he found a way to get through mayhem there and bring it home for a top 5 finish. So congratulations to Craig Covington there. In fifth, we got the 63 of Charles Hoffman, who had a good race. He was up front most of the night. That last long stint, he had a couple issues where he got into the wall and it cost him, but still a solid night. In sixth, Jameer Muhammad, he of the 4 tire stops there at the end, did not get a chance to see if it was going to pay off. In seventh, we got the 4 of Jeremy Evans, my pick, who I believe finished ahead of Reese Milton. Not sure, Charles, your pick. But Jeremy Evans bringing it home in seventh. In eighth, we got the 87 of John Van Verillas. In ninth, we got the 83 of Alex Huffman. Couldn't make the 2 tires work, and unfortunately cost him a good night because he was around the top 3 most of the night. In 10th, we got the 12 car of James Morgan. In 11th, we've got the 78 of Scotty Zerk. In 12th, we got the 11 of Dennis Ellis. And rounding out your top 13, league owner and sometimes VRN driver, the 99 of Justin Starr.
In 14th is going to be the 28 of Brian Bizzle. 15th will be the 76 of Reese Milton. Had a good run here, led some laps, I do believe. Actually led 14 and then just not having it in the way he wanted it to. 16th will be the 21 of Dan Butler. 17th will be the 9 of Brian Dorsey. Again, was up front at some point during the race, some point during the race anyway, and then just not finishing the way he wanted either. 18th will be the 77 of Justin Spear. 19th will be the 88 of Austin Edstrom. And 20th will be the 3 of Damian Leininger. 21st will be Mikey Neal. Again, another driver just not having the night he wanted to here. 22nd will be the 1 of Chris Brown. 23 will be the 23rd will be the 22 of Jeff Pogo. 24th will be the 42 of Ray Moss, who from reports we were getting had to be escorted out of here. 25th will go to the 6 of Matthew Ellis. And 26th place will go to Jonathan Ellis. That will do it here for your unofficial race results. We'll be right back here in just a few moments as we will get to the post-race show. And it's going to be a bit of an extended post-race show, so hang tight with us. We are definitely going to get Jameer up here to talk to him, and we'll see if we can get the top 3 in the point standings as well, as they will be receiving trophies. So we will be right back here in just a few moments. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here with your post-race show. We do not have the 70 of Sam Crow here with us, so we can't talk the third place. However, we do have the 45. That is Brian Jones, or as I know him as the 21. This 45 number is getting a little funky here. I'm not used to it. But regardless, you finish in second place here tonight, and only, I believe, your third or fourth start with the league. So how does it feel to be on the podium here with a solid field of 26 drivers?
I mean, it feels good considering I'm not really experienced at this track. I'm more used to short track racing, so it's pretty cool.
Well, again, I think Jeff's theory, we had a lot of drivers that didn't qualify in the top 5. I think that went out the window with that last caution, but that took out a lot of cars. So on that last caution there, explain what you saw from your point of view there, as it looked like some tire spin on old tires may have been a factor in that.
Yeah, I was expecting to pit on that last caution there and maybe get 2 tires, come back out and see how we could shake it out. But I was just following the guys in front of me. They didn't pit, and I did not expect the tires to be that loose when I hit the gas. And I didn't get into the guy in front of me, but I think everybody else just about went around, and I almost lost it too. So I was lucky to get second for sure.
Yeah, definitely chaos ensued in that last one. Some old tires, new tires, and just all around craziness there. But, sometimes that's how it goes here. It just is unfortunate when it ends that way. But that being said here, again, it's a little late for some people as work does happen tomorrow for a lot of people, so we don't want to keep you too late. But we know you got some sponsors on that car, at least one, and we know you got some shout-outs of who would those be here for that second place finish.
Yeah, I just want to thank jalopnik.com. I also want to thank Global Building Contractors and Leo's Coney Island.
Oh, definitely. Congrats again on the second place. And Jeff, I believe, has caught up with our race winner here tonight, the 84 of Bryson Barker.
Bryson Barker, congratulations on the win. You got me, man?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, what a race, man. Got dinged with the EOL to start tonight. Wasn't able to qualify. I think we highlighted just a few laps into it. You shot right up to about 10th place. And then, there was a lot of fast cars up front tonight. There was a lot of guys that were fast early on in the race. We see that attrition got a lot of those guys. But you were one advantage to avoid most of the mayhem. You got up front. Somebody seemed to be right behind you all the way through that pack. That was the 14 of Jameer Mohammed. The two of you traded first place for a while. We weren't sure who was faster. It just kind of seemed like whoever got out front stayed out front, and then so we got into a little bit of strategy there at the end, and at the end you decided not to take any tires. Jameer Mohammed came in and took 4 tires. Charles and I were torn on the strategy. We weren't sure, no tires, 4 tires, but Tire Spin did not give us a chance to see how it was going to play out. So. Tell us about your race, and especially tell us about what went into that strategy call there at the end, that big pit fake and the decision not to take tires.
Yeah, I knew it would be a long race starting from the back. It wasn't going to be easy. I wouldn't say it was hard to pass here, but you really just had to know how to run the bottom. A lot of guys were running the top, and they helped me because I was able to just rotate in the center, and I could usually get a better run up off. But yeah, there at the end, I started to get extremely loose on that second to last run, and Jameer caught me, and he was able to get around me. I couldn't hold him off. I mean, he's really good at saving his tires and saving his stuff, so I knew if it was a long run, I couldn't hold him off. And under the green flag stops, they were all right, and once he got out in front of me, I just knew I had to ride there, and hopefully, he would make a mistake, or, a caution did come out, and a caution come out, and I was 100% pitting until I saw my relative that some of the lead lap cars are staying out. And at that point, I knew I wouldn't win if I pitted. So I just stayed out, and whatever happened, happened.
It turned out to be the right call, as we didn't get too far on that restart. All those old tires, you seem to be about the only guy that was kind of ready for that tire spin. I think everybody behind you, we saw about 3 or 4 cars just shoot straight right. I think you were the only one that took off straight. Probably lucky you didn't get caught by that car to the inside of you, which also took a hard right turn there, but was able to save it there. Fantastic call there. I think we just got word here while we were interviewing you that you actually ended up 3rd place on the season. So we thought Mikey Neal had it, but Justin Starr has sent word that you are 3rd on the season. So congratulations on that one too. So the big win gets you there. And we'll get back to that one here in a second, I think, when we start doing the season champion interview. So stick around for that one. I wanted to go back and talk about, you said your car got super loose. I just noticed on the one stint there, that second to last one you were talking about, we were watching, and you can go back and watch the race if you want, but we just couldn't believe you were chasing that thing off every single corner. You lost a whole bunch of time to Alex Huffman and Jameer Mohammed. We weren't sure if you got any damage or anything. Was that just tire wear? Did you slide those tires again? What happened there to get you so loose on that one particular run? Because we didn't see that from you really on any other runs.
Yeah, we didn't really have that long of a run early in the race. It didn't feel like, but that long run, I killed my right rear, and trying to run fast enough laps to stay ahead of Jameer and Alex, it made it even worse, and it made it a handful. And there at the end of that last run, or second to last run before the late caution, it started to get loose again. And yeah, it was just, I'm not sure if it was the way I was driving or just the setup, but yeah, I was struggling there for a little bit.
Yeah, well, congratulations, man! Phenomenal season. You got another win. You're one of the guys that's a threat to win any race here. So only fitting that you were the guy that closed it out this season, and it looks like you're able to jump into third place with that victory. So big shout out there. We'll go ahead and wrap this up. Let you get your shout outs to your family, friends, sponsors, and then we'll send it back to Charles, and we can do some of the season awards interviews.
Yeah, huge shout out to Global Building Contractors for the league sponsor this, and Lake Areas Entertainment, Leo's Coney Island, iRacing Drivers World. Big appreciation to those guys. That's really cool that they came on board, and just you guys for a good season broadcasting.
All right, thanks, Bryson, and we'll send it back to you, Charles.
All right, well, that will do it for your general race interviews anyway. We do not have obviously overlays for this. It's kind of fluid, so it kind of changes depending on where everyone finishes. But again, we just got word that Bryson Barker coming in third in points after that win. So I'll start us off with Bryson. Once again, we just got done talking to you, but we're going to talk to you again. You came in third in points. Coming into tonight's race, did you know you needed to finish really high or good, or was it good? Did you know it was going to be a close battle?
Man, I mean, I check the points every now and then, but it doesn't really matter to me. Like I said, I knew I missed a couple races there at the beginning, and it was going to be really hard for me to be in consideration with the championship. So to even finish third, I'm really pleased about that.
You definitely, it was going to be close there. Obviously, with Mikey Neal being involved in that incident, that kind of helps you out a little bit, maybe took some of that pressure off. But, we've heard this over and over from a lot of the drivers, and it sounds like the same for you. It was just another race. You come out here and do the best you can, and hopefully it all works out for you in the end. Was that kind of your strategy coming into tonight's race?
Oh, yeah, that for sure. That's the strategy for every race. I mean, you can only control what you can control, and you just got to do the best you can.
Well, definitely you did a good job of doing what you needed to do here with the race win. That being said, you've already obviously thanked your sponsors and stuff. So looking forward to the upcoming seasons in the Truck Series. Are you looking forward to that? And what can you give us any predictions? Are you going to be running the next series?
Yeah, I'm always looking forward to the Truck Series. The trucks are probably my favorite vehicle to drive on this simulator. And now going forward, I just got to minimize mistakes, man. There's been so many races this season where I feel like I was fastest, if not second fastest, in pit strategy or getting into somebody else's mess or creating my own mess. It hurt a bunch of races that I should have had a good finish. So if we minimize the mistakes next season, it should be positive.
Well, definitely we will be looking for you in the upcoming seasons and in the Truck Series as we finish up this one. So we'll definitely be looking forward to seeing you there. That being said, we do have second place in here, Alex Huffman. So we'll hand it over to Jeff as you going to talk to our second place in points.
Yeah, Alex Huffman, congratulations, man. Second place finish. How big of a deal is that, man?
Kind of shocking if you ask me, because I felt like, well, Austin, if he didn't miss those races, he probably would have been up here just as close. Bryson, he made it closer to me. He was only 10 points off of me looking at it now. Getting Mikey over by 5 points there. He did a well of a job, and then there at the end, Jameer, he came along, and I let him by. He was obviously faster, and I was just struggling to keep my right front of my car at the end of that race. But Bad luck during the racing, but a whole season worth, and I get second, I'll take it. I've had so much bad luck in this. Whew.
Well, I'll tell you, we spent a lot of time talking about the Big Four, the drivers that seem to be competing for all the wins. Bryson Barker, Austin Edstrom, who you mentioned, Jameer Mohammed, your other teammate Mikey Neal there with his strong finish to the end of the season. But you got to win yourself this year. You had to win at Daytona. When we were in there looking at the points earlier, of all the drivers, when we were trying to figure out what everybody's drops were possibly going to be, it looked to me like you were going to drop the best race out of everybody. You just didn't really have bad races this year. I think you've proven that steady wins a race, and maybe we don't talk about you enough. Any thoughts on that?
Steady wins a race, yeah. I tried to stay as much as I could in the top 5 there throughout the season and all my races. I've had some bad races, which the one race I did drop was horrible for me. It was just a lot of incidents for me, so I was just like, I'm going to park it and not get DQ'd. But consistency, that had to be Jameer. I mean, if you look back at all of his finishes, he was king of consistency, and you can see why he won the championship by 58 points. My Lord, I mean, I'll take second place all day. I mean, this series was fun. I had a blast. I hate that I missed a couple of races. I probably would have loved to have those 3 races on my resume and not just empty races for me, but I gotta say, it was a fun season, and ready for the next one.
All right, man. I don't think you give yourself enough credit there sometimes, or going with the humbleness here. You did get a win this season, but so often you're up there. You're always in the top 10, and you're pretty consistent. I got one last question for you here, and it's race-related tonight. And the 2 tires, what a bold move there. And looked like it was going to pay off for you for about 10 laps. Had you known that this playoff championship chase was as close as it was, Bryson Barker, we kind of thought was out of it, and we thought Mikey Neal was out of the race when he took those 2 tires. But seeing how things finished here, and knowing that, would you have made that 2-tire call again?
No, not really. I don't think I would have. I was super loose, and I was fighting there to hold on to third there at the end, and I was wishing I took 4, but on that green flag cycle stops, I kind of messed up on the access road there coming in the pit road and lost a lot of time. So I went from 3rd to 8th, and I was hoping that it wasn't going to be much. I hope there was going to be a quick caution after that because I knew people were going to take tires immediately because tires meant a lot at Homestead tonight. And I just decided, I was like, I'll take 2, hope for a quick caution, and that quick caution didn't happen. So kind of bit the bullet there, but I mean, it was going to be close either way between me, Mikey, and Bryson out of nowhere with that win and getting up there in 3rd in points tonight. It was going to be close for everybody, really.
Yeah, that definitely. We miscalculated that one, but congratulations on a fantastic season. And I'm sure you got some people you want to thank, some friends, family, sponsors who've been with you all season. So have at it, man. The mic's yours here for a minute.
I got to thank Global Building Contractors, of course, for putting on this series and putting on the one for next season. And the All-Star race coming up as well. Leo's Coney Island for the truck series, iRacing Drivers World. I mean, we couldn't have done it without them. Global Building Contractors, I mean, they've supported this series a lot, and it's been pretty cool to see it happen. And VRN, you guys broadcasting it. Justin, Racecore, Dan, the admins of it, for putting it on as well. And my friends and family, of course. I think I already said that, but my short-term memory is bad, but I got to thank them as well if they watch it.
All right, man. Congratulations, and we're going to go ahead and move forward here with the Jeff and Jameer post-race show. Jameer, congratulations on your championship. You were just kind of the dominant driver the last 3 quarters of the season. In position here to get a win tonight. A little bit of pit strategy and a tough restart maybe cost you that shot, but just congratulations on a fantastic season. Same question for you that I asked Huffy there out the gate. How big of a deal is it to you to get this championship, knowing how good some of these other drivers were that you had to battle week in and week out?
Oh, it means a lot. It means a lot. We put a lot of effort and practice into it. I think a lot of guys Spend a lot of time on here to get good and practice it every week. And we go out here and everyone tries to get better and better. And we saw that. We saw a lot of improvement by a lot of different drivers throughout the season. Me, for one, like I started, I think back in January, I wasn't really that good. I started in this league. I was more of like a 5th to 10th kind of place kind of guy, and just kind of worked at it, and it feels good. It feels really good to finally pull this out. I'm very glad that the race, the points was figured out well before this last race, because that last restart I would be stressing out.
Yeah, I bet you were. So going back, talking about that season a little bit, I think the start of the season, I wasn't here for the entire season. I kind of came on. I believe Auto Club was my first race with you guys. But early on in the season, I would agree. Maybe you were closer to a 5th than a 10th place car. It was kind of the Bryson Barker and the Austin Edstrom stroke, and then you figured something out. I don't know what it was, but you got better. You figured something out. Something clicked, and you just started knocking off wins, and nobody could touch you on the long runs. When I don't care if it was trucks, cars, whatever. You hit a stretch there in the middle where nobody could touch you, and then we saw Austin Edstrom and Mikey Neal. They went to work. I mean, I saw Mikey Neal out there doing all kinds of practicing, working his butt off to catch you. I know that Austin Edstrom was out there running all kinds of races and practicing. So just by virtue of you jumping the kind of the top of the leaderboard, we watched those guys get better, and then we saw Bryson Barker even have to raise his game towards the end of the season. So it just was really interesting and fun to watch kind of the 4 of you guys just take turns racing your game. How much did the competitiveness play into that, and how much work did you have to put in just to keep up with those guys week after week?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you call those 3 guys out, and it's so much fun racing against them. It's always a clean race, and it's always a great battle. And yeah, we definitely push each other all the time, and definitely had to practice. If there's a track coming up that I just wasn't good at or new to, I worked at it that week to make sure I was at least with those guys. And I learned a lot from those guys. And it's been a lot of fun, and I got a lot out of it. So it's just like props to those guys for keeping it going, and as well as others in the league. I mean, there's others that are mid-pack, and they've been getting better. I've seen them in top 5, leading races, some good strategies. Like you pretty much got to have a really perfect race to win one of these days. And I wasn't able to pull it out today with the end of the race there. But, I mean, I've only got 2 wins this season, which is just saying something about how competitive it is and how hard it is to win these races. So.
Yeah, and it surprises me. I get the trucks, the cars mixed up all the time. I'd swear I think you won every race here for a stretch. But we talked about that last week, where you just got your second win, with the other one being Pocono here in the Xfinity. So you're absolutely right. We've talked about that second tier on the broadcast. They're not second tier. They're a group that's also working hard and improving week after week. I mean, Alex Huffman, one of those guys, just finished second in points. We talk about Chris Brown and Jeremy Evans, and there's a whole bunch of them. I don't want to even start naming them for fear of leaving one out, but man, there's just a great group of drivers, and everybody in here just seems to get better and better week after week. Man, you can't get stagnant here or they'll leave you behind. So I attribute that to the competitiveness. I think, you'd probably agree. I think hanging around this lead, it's a good competitiveness. You guys push yourselves week after week. But I guess my question is, when you're racing throughout the season, how much of this is with an eye on the championship? How much of your strategy is based around winning the championship, and then how much is just based around, just you get lost in a competitive moment and all you care about is just beating those guys that we were just talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, it comes down to just trying to beat those guys, that try to beat you the week before, right? And for sure, once we got like halfway through and you kind of figure it out, everyone's missed their races and see where you're at. Definitely, I was playing the points game like really early on, trying to make sure, I didn't have any bad races. I made some calls. I was more conservative in certain situations instead of going for the win, and that's just the way it is. But I mean, it was fun. I mean, it's the first time I've ever really raced for a points championship for a long season like this, and so it was great. It was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, I know you and I could probably go on forever, and we have more than once, but Charles has got yet another interview to do, so we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. Congratulations to Jameer Muhammad, our points winner, in a fantastic battle against a fantastic crew of guys. And I know that you got some shout-outs to give here. I know you got your wife, your dad who watch the races, some sponsors, so the mic is yours, Jameer.
Yeah, thanks guys for everything you guys do at VRN. I'll be missing next week's race. I'll be at my home track, Canadian Tire Motorsports, for the truck race, so I won't be here for the All-Star race, which sucks, but have fun next week. I'd just like to thank Global Building Contractors, iRacing Drivers World, Leaves Coney's Island for our truck series. Shout out to my mom and dad. Shout out to my wife, and just thanks everyone for everything they've done. And big shout out to Justin. He runs a really good league and keeps everything fair and square. And just appreciate everything. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Jameer. And we'll pass it back to Charles, who has the aforementioned Justin Starr, the man who puts on this fantastic show for us. So, Charles and Justin, it's all yours.
All right, and we don't want to keep everyone here too late. We know it's a little late for a lot of people here, and work is coming up tomorrow morning. And I'm not even going to keep the mic too long. We want to talk a little bit about what is coming up here. We are not done yet with racing. We still have a lot of racing to go. So that being said, other than the All-Star race, there is another series coming up. So Justin, we'll hand the mic over to you and let you explain a little bit about what's coming up here on Sunday nights now.
Hello. Hey, finally get to talk to you guys. 23 races, I didn't get one podium. Oh well. I want to first, before I get to that, Charles, I want to congratulate Jameer on his championship, Alex Huffman for second place, and Bryson for third place. And all the drivers that come out each week and compete and keep this league going, and most of all, Global Building Contractors for doing all the really extremely cool things they do for this league, and also, putting us on a truck at Bristol that came in fourth place. That's surreal, I just want to get that out of the way. The next thing we got going will be next week. We'll have a qualifier race for the All-Star race for the guys underneath the 25 position cut. And then we're going to have the top 25 guys who are locked in will be in the race. First place will be $100. Second through fifth place will be $25 a piece. And then we have coming up a day off next Sunday after that, Charles. And then we go into an 18-week K&N series on Sunday nights. The truck series will continue until October. And then the GBC series, the Global Building Contractor series, will be on Tuesday night for a 12-week. And that will run out the rest of the year. And I'd like to thank you guys for showing up each week and putting on a really good show, broadcasting, and making it exciting for everybody and enjoyable. You guys do a good job.
Well, definitely, we are glad to be here. And there you go, folks. And now you know what's coming up. Just because this is the championship round and this series is over doesn't mean we won't be here. We will be here on Sunday nights. We do get a week off, though. We're going to take 1 week off and recoup from that, and then we will be back. So that being said, we once again want to thank all of the sponsors, of course, starting with the racing side of things. Leo's Coney Island out of Rochester Hills. If you're in the area, go pick up some great food. We've actually looked at their menu, and there is a ton of great food on there. Make sure you check them out as well and thank them for what they've done. They are just a general sponsor here for this. They are the presenting sponsor for the Truck Series. iRacing Drivers World. If you need to post pictures, videos, comments, questions, whatever it happens to be, iRacing Drivers World is the place to do it. Make sure you check them out and join that page today. And of course, as just mentioned, Global Building Contractors. Definitely check out their website. You've probably been in a lot of places that they've hired out people to build. So definitely go check them out on the website. And while you're there, shoot them an email. Go to their Facebook page, whatever you have to do. Give them a huge shout out for coming on board here, as they were here all season. And they have done a great job. So make sure you give them a huge shout out as well. On the broadcast side of things, we want to give a big shout out to all of our partners as well. Starting with Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm. Northwest SimSpeedShop.com, Northwest Racing Series, Ohio IndyCar League, iBog, and of course Randy's Wraps presenting your pre-race interview. That will do it, though, for tonight's broadcast. We will see you next Sunday night for the All-Star race. And, of course, right before that a little bit, we will have the qualifier race. So we get a little double action going on. So stay tuned for that. And as always, we will see you then.